All right, welcome to our watch party, our 49ers live stream this Monday night against the Detroit Lions. Damon Bruce brought to you by Ike Sandwiches. Tonight's live stream also being powered by BetUS, and it is just fantastic having you here. Thanks so much to our good friends at the Dubliner, as always, for being such a fantastic sponsor, and it's good to see you again. We are closing out 2024, a decidedly frustrating season for the San Francisco 49ers with this Monday night football game, which does not matter for either team. That is why the decision to have Brock Purdy starting behind this offensive line. Let me just show you this offensive line. Matt Mayoko letting you know that Charlie Heck and Nick Zackel, are your left tackle, left guard. Jake Brendel, who's struggled at center. Dominic Pooney, who's hit a rookie wall. And Colton McKivitz is starting at right tackle. This is a bad line to have an important quarterback playing behind in any game, especially a game that does not matter, especially a game when literally the only thing you're doing is playing for pride in the concept of not getting embarrassed at home on Monday Night Football by the Lions seeking revenge and blah, 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 blah. This, to me, it's all about asset protection. This, to me, is all about doing what is in best service of 2025 now that 2024 is basically out of service and certainly out of the playoff business. So I would like to wish John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan very good luck tonight. And I would like to wish Brock Purdy good luck tonight and George Kittle good luck tonight and Fred Warner good luck tonight and Nick Bosa good luck tonight, because I wouldn't be playing any of them in this game. But that's not the game the 49ers are playing tonight. And look, I understand. It's football. It's the regular season. A healthy player is supposed to play, and yeah. I can tell you beyond any shadow of a doubt that there is no room for any sort of feel-good regular season story remaining for the San Francisco 49ers. It's all about winning a Lombardi trophy. That can't happen this year. That means this year is over. It's time to start planning on next year, if you do not mind me saying. Anyways, we are going to have a very special guest join us in the second quarter. My buddy Sam Betesh, longtime radio veteran, producer, and now YouTuber himself, along with Andrew Siciliano. He's going to be stopping by, and we are looking forward to you stopping on by in your chats. Thank you in advance for super chats. We get 50 of them. That triggers an automatic bottle pull, and as you can see, we're running out of whiskey. It's been that kind of a season here. Otherwise, we will be sipping water and getting ready for a big old New Year's Eve tomorrow night. We'll be pacing ourselves this evening. Indeed. But yes, it is good to have you here. I saw earlier Versus saying masochists assemble. Yes, indeed. Masochists assemble. And what I'd really like you to do right now is assemble your thumbs over that like and subscribe button. You hit that like button right now. This video is going to get pushed out across YouTube. It's going to help it grow. You hit subscribe. It's going to help it grow. You want to help me grow? You go ahead and you support our sponsors. And again, my man Ike is the man. I've told you about that time and time again. His sandwiches are the absolute best. Get yourself an Ike sandwich. And if you don't live in an Ike sandwich area, delivery area, consider moving. It's that good. It is that good. Hopefully there'll be an Ike's near you soon enough. Our good friends at the Dubliner and West Portal, that is my kind of bar. Hopefully they got a whole bunch of people assembled for this one tonight. This one could require a little drinking. Again, Dan Campbell and the Lions are coming on here, dead set in revenge. And if you are making any bets tonight, I would say take the Lions and make sure you take them over at BetUS and use promo code YouTube150 when you do that. You'll be very, very happy that you did. We are just about to get underway from Levi's Stadium. It is great having you here. Thank you so much for coming on by tonight. And we got ourselves kickoff right now on Monday Night Football. I will try to help you sync up. Debo is returning this, and Debo has been getting some of his most productive plays out of a disappointing season now in the return game, and that was a good return for Debo Samuel. And again, here comes Brock Purdy behind a level of patchwork offensive line that should basically have everybody pretty concerned. I mean, there's no other way around it, right? I mean, this is, your third string offensive line, and you're thinking about a franchise quarterback getting a $55 to $60 million offseason. Anyways, with 14:54 on the clock, we are underway, and Debo gets the first carry of the game. I want to see young guys play tonight. I don't want to see much of George Kittle tonight. What's Kittle need? About 40, 50 yards to get 1,000? Great. Get it for him really early and get him the hell out. Isaac Guerrero is active. No Banks, no Burford, no Trent Williams, and a game that's operating in a very, very weird space. Again, the Niners are totally eliminated, and the Detroit Lions can do nothing, winning or losing, to improve their chances of winning their own division or a 1 seed. Well, if they win, obviously they want that. But if it's all going to come down to next week, for the Detroit Lions, it's a little interesting that they might not go out of their way to rest somebody tonight. And I think if anybody gets down in this game, the reasons to take your players, your starters out of the game will be readily apparent. And if anybody's up big in this game, same thing. Again, this is one of those regular season games that matters only theoretically. It matters not for either team. So sort of a weird space. And in a season where, scheduling has been a big part of why the 49ers have had such a rough year, it's just weird that in a league that's trying to tailor-make games that they would save this game all the way for the end of the year, where, yeah, there is a chance that it would be a tremendous end of the year game, but there's also a chance that this is late enough in a season where someone's out of it, someone's resting, and it's just, of all the premium games, I'm surprised the NFL didn't put more of a premium on this one. Little end around flip to Debo Samuel, who's running a little casually with the ball. He had that dangling out. He's carrying it like a loaf of bread. Please, 3 points of protection, Debo. But this is a first drive that has gotten underway here now with a first down. Nice little flip play to Debo. Kyle Juszczyk out leading the blocking. Let's see if we even use Kyle Juszczyk's name again tonight after that one moment where he actually did something good. So, okay, we're at 12:24. Ball is snapped. George Kittle, hey diddle diddle, right down the middle, in a very crisp, very alert opening drive for the San Francisco 49ers. Saving their best to last. Look, if they go out and they win this game, super duper. Everyone can drive home happy. Hopefully you win this game with no one getting hurt. Hopefully you win this game. And you're not doing too much damage to a draft position. But again, I'd rather be picking higher than the team that is, got a chance to pick higher than me. I really would. You got a chance to crack the top 10 of the draft. I'd rather do that than beat the Detroit Lions. But if you want to beat the Detroit Lions tonight, I hope you're very happy. Oh, my God, we got Ricky Pearsall. We got double end arounds. We got all sorts of trickery. We got Ricky hopping into the sideline, but we got flip and toss plays already in this game. Got freaking got Kyle. I don't know if this is in your bag or just trying to do something that nobody in Detroit is expecting, because this is really not how the 49ers come out and play. But look, a design play for Ricky Pearsall. Let's see if Ricky Pearsall can play. Ricky, that was almost a bad flip pass to him. That could have been a disaster, but Ricky did a nice job getting that one out of his ear hole and starting to turn it upfield. He didn't get much, only a gain of 4. But again, feature Ricky Pearsall. Give me Jacob Cowing from scrimmage tonight. Show me guys who I've got questions about. See if you can't answer some questions that'll help next season. That, to me, is what tonight should be about. Why exactly do we always use Purdy on a QB sneak on 3rd and 4 and 1? Well, we're not there yet unless you're ahead of me here. Are you that far ahead of me, or am I about to see a QB sneak from Purdy? Your broadcast is 2 downs ahead. Oh, no, there is the Purdy sneak. I am behind you. I don't know how that happened. Let me see if I can play a little catch up here. I did. I had DirecTV get me behind the sticks. First and goal. Wow, look at that. Now we're all caught up. 9:05 on the clock. We've got Isaac Guerrero slamming himself into a back of a middle of an offensive line that didn't move an inch. And we got a little off the field skirmish right there. What do we got? A little friskiness between Juwan Jennings and who? Flag on the play. Juwan Jennings. I'll tell you what, Juwan Jennings is blocking a motherfucker all the way up to San Mateo. I don't got a problem with that. That's called football. Oh, now we got fans involved. We got an old man. You got a guy in a wheelchair right there. God, look out, Juwan. You guys almost went tumbling into a guy sitting in a wheelchair in the first row. Jeez. All right, so now we're all caught up. But there we go. You want a little friskiness for the game that didn't mean anything? It means something to the boys that are out there. Rah, 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 rah. Or something like that. My God, just don't hurt the guy in the wheelchair. Good Lord. Barry saying we're seeing a little fire from him. Barry, seeing a little fire from him too. And I tell you what, Barry, it was great seeing you. Let me do something real quick here. Speaking of Barry Ford from Memphis, there's a little something I would like to show you. You see Barry, he's a Navy man right there. Barry, he served his country. He's also a former radio guy. And let me tell you, Barry Ford now is letting the hair down behind that medallion. Love the locks. And look at him holding a D. Bruce mug. A Plus mug. Merch is available. And Merry Christmas, Barry Ford. He picked one up. Thank you so very much, Barry. His wife, Mary. Big 49er fans now in Memphis. Look at you, Barry, a spokesmodel indeed. He sent that to me on Twitter today. I had to clip that one for the broadcast tonight. All right, here we go. Second and goal. Let's get a touchdown here for Barry in the new mug. Purdy uncorks one. Touchdown? No, they're going to say Pearsall is right outside the end zone when he came down with that. Looked like he might have come down in the end zone. We're going to get a straight down the end zone looking line right there. Pearsall. That's a touchdown. I think that's a touchdown. If I'm Shanahan, I'm challenging that. Is his foot down? Boom. I think that's a touchdown. I mean, I go ahead and I challenge that if I'm Kyle Shanahan. I mean, why not? Well, you're at the point in the year where you literally have nothing left to lose. If you're playing to win tonight, you might as well go ahead and challenge that bad boy, you'd think. Jason definitively says not a touchdown as it is being ruled. Touchdown. 49ers. Ricky Pearsall, 3-yard touchdown reception. Jason, why don't you just sit back and let us handle this for you, okay? Bazzi Mian, almost a touchdown. No. We got ourselves touchdown. And Barry, yeah, baby. There you go. We look at it this way. The 49ers have never not scored a touchdown. They have never in the history of their franchise failed to score a touchdown when Barry, his new mug, and his Niner chain have made an appearance here on the Plus. So there you go. The 49ers strike first here on Monday Night Football. A very well tailor-made, well-crafted opening drive where Purdy was not running for his life. And look, maybe there's been enough injury up front with the Detroit Lions to where the 49ers third-string offensive line can handle them tonight. If that's the truth, I don't know how much the Detroit Lions are going to be hanging around any postseason if they can get handled this evening by the 49ers backup offensive line. Anyways, it is great having you here as they take their first commercial break down at Levi's Stadium. Let's take our first kind of in-show commercial break to tell you once again, thanks for being here. Please go ahead, hit like and subscribe. Even ahead of that subscribe button right now, hit that like button. That is going to get this live stream, this watch party, pushed out across YouTube. Again, when you're pushing your bets out, use BetUS, use promo code YouTube150, and save up to get 150% deposit bonus. Easy for me to say. 150% deposit bonus up to $2,000 on your first deposit. Our good friends at the Dubliner in West Portal, fantastic bar in San Francisco. Is this a sports bar, a neighborhood bar, an Irish bar? Oh, it's kind of all one thing. It's all things. It's everything a bar needs to be, and every sandwich you could ever possibly want is waiting for you at Ike's. Go get an Ike's sandwich. If you order one right now, you'll probably have it by end of halftime, start of third quarter. And hopefully you indeed do. So thanks to all of our sponsors. Thanks to you for being here. Like and subscribe, my good friends and family. We break for likes. And there we go, Barry. Barry, who's already given it the office. Barry, who's hopefully sipping out of that mug right now. Put this in the jar for me and Mary. I'll have a sip of the day in my Plus mug. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Look at it this way, Barry. Your photograph is producing points. The 49ers are not efficient in the red zone until Barry and Mary show up with a mug in Memphis, getting it done. JP from the 510 coming in, tucking a buck. Thank you very much. And Chardonnay Dog, a year's of a membership, a full year as a member. Chardonnay Dog, thank you so much. You want to go above and beyond supporting the channel. I mean, memberships available. That's some real big boy stuff right there. I really, really appreciate it. Joe Schmo is just saying, look, man, Damon, so meaty. Try one. I am a very meaty sandwich at Ike's. Very, very meaty. Very meaty. There we go. Barry, he's keeping score at home. He's like, yeah, we're undefeated over here. Thank you very much. Anyways, we're about to kick off here, and we're going to see what the Detroit Lions are going to do, kicking the ball or touching the ball for the first time on offense. Julio, what is happening in this game? I mean, 49ers are going to exercise the demons, although this is a special teams play, so nobody get cocky. What kind of disaster will take place on special teams tonight for the San Francisco 49ers? I guess we all get to find out together, don't we? This is Micah Cervantes. Ricky making a play against Brian Branch. Tell Larry to get off his ass. Hey, look, I'd love to see Ricky play a level of game to where we're not talking about, I don't know if this guy is really cut out for a football career in the NFL. I'd love to see it. I mean, it's all so new for him. I mean, we should have no expectation of finished product arriving in a rookie. But it's been a pretty disappointing year for Ricky Pearsall, even considering what happened at the beginning of his year with the slow start due to the, near tragic event of him getting shot, for goodness sakes. So, but it's time to produce, and everyone will lay off him if he produces. 2nd and 7 here now for the Detroit Lions. Let's see where we're going over here. Let me make sure I got my play-by-play up. Want to see what's going on. Got to make sure Gibbs doesn't have a big party against you tonight. By the way, I can already tell what's happening, why I fell 2 plays behind you. Every now and then, my DirecTV starts to freeze. So hopefully it won't be freezing too much here tonight. 3rd and 2. Can the 49ers get off the field early on 3rd down? Gibbs looking for a running lane, and he found one. 1st down, Detroit. Gain of 6. Hey, friends of the Green Bay Packers has become a YouTube member. I got to tell you, having grown up a fan of the Chicago Bears, not really a lot of Green Bay Packer love in my life until right now. Thank you very much, fans of the Green Bay Packers, for coming on in as a member here on the Plus. Do appreciate it. And Happy New Year to you. I'll even go as far to wish you good luck in the playoffs. By the way, that is a big, big play by Gibbs. We're talking like what? A 21-yard gain on the ground there by Gibbs. So Detroit Lions responding to a very good opening drive by the San Francisco 49ers. I'll let you know that we got a great guest set to join us in the second quarter, my man Sam Betesh. And if my man Sam Betesh even wants to come in a little early, he's certainly more than welcome to do that. We'll see what we'll see what Sam we'll see what Sam does here in just a minute. I can feel his presence. There's a disturbance in the force. So we'll let you know we'll probably be bumping into him soon. I brought in Sam to talk about changing world of radio. Sam is such a good old friend of mine from the radio biz, and he's a hell of a sports producer. Right now, he is doing unbelievable things on YouTube with our friend Andrew Siciliano. Thinking Out Loud is a YouTube channel I want you to subscribe to. We'll tell you all about it when Sammy gets here. But 2nd and 15 now for the Detroit Lions. And of course, right as the ball is snapped, my TV freezes just a little bit. What a pain in the ass if this is what I'm going to be getting all night long. A big play, though, down to get Detroit into the red zone. But no. We got a flag on the play. And it's on the 49ers, so that will be declined, obviously. And right now, we got an awful lot of chugging by the Detroit Lions, looking to answer an opening drive touchdown from the 49ers with one of their own. Let's see where this bad boy goes here. Goff just ripped one to the flat, and a missed tackle. Just had a play that didn't look like it was going to go for much, pop for an awful lot. If this is going to be a jamming YouTube signal all night, I am going to be very pissed off. Maybe we're doing a little bit better on the local affiliate. Maybe we'll do better over there. All right. 5:14, 5:13, 5:12, 5:11, 5:10, just so we can kind of sync it all up together. 5:07, 5:05, ball is snapped. Goff, hands off. What do we got? A near touchdown by the Detroit Lions. They are going to be inside the 1 yard line after a really nice carry there around left side. The Lions got such a bullying offensive line. They really do. Just road grading offensive line, just getting dudes blown out. Diamador Lenore holding on for dear life in that tackle. Dear life. 2nd and goal. Second and goal. Nice tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Fred Warner. If you're going to be out there tonight, Fred, make that presence felt. Make that presence felt. Red Jet. Loving this. Loving the live stream. Thank you, Red Jet. Love seeing you in here as always. Welcome, my good friend. Great to have you in the audience at all times. 3rd and goal. Here we go. Make a play in the red zone, 49ers defense. You haven't made too many of them all year long. You really haven't. Oh, that is going to be a walk it in, no problems at all. Touchdown for Williams. Boom, boom, boom. There it is. A Jamison Williams 3-yard touchdown run. Beautifully designed play by the Lions. 9-play, 65-yard scoring drive. And with the point after touchdown, we are officially going to be looking at a tie game here. So both teams coming right out, scoring touchdowns on their opening drives. And hey, the game that you thought this might be when the original schedule came out and a battle of titans has got a really good start to it. Oh, wait a minute. The 49ers blocked the field goal, the point after touchdown, pardon me. 49ers special teams. I mean, it's been a strength of the year. Oh, Jordan Elliott makes a play in a 49er uniform. Jordan Elliott, big paw Jordan. And the 49ers lead 7-6. How about that? How about that? Well, my good friends, I don't know if that's the start you wanted. If you want a better draft pick, you just want to come out and not get embarrassed tonight. I've heard an awful lot of that from 49er fans. Give us a good football game. It hasn't exactly been a holiday season full of great football games so far this year. No doubt about it. There's been some ugly ones, a few tight ones. Let's see what Monday night actually gives us tonight. One more time before we get into it with our good friend Sam, let me thank our good friend Ike for sponsoring the live stream. As always, our friends at the Dubliner, that is the place to go in West Portal. Muni will drop you off and pick you right up outside. BetUS is where I want you to go to have your action during bowl season, New Year's Day. Going to be betting on some bowl games. Get over to BetUS. Use promo code YouTube150 when you do. And let me tell you that when in doubt, get yourself a friend like Sam Betesh. You're going to need a guy like Sam Betesh in your life because he is good people. My friend Betesh is now part of the Thinking Out Loud YouTube channel with our pal Andrew Siciliano. And look at you. I've been told there are 8 crazy nights. What night are you in? Is this 5 or 6?
This is, let's see here. So now this is a really special year. Now, first of all, beautiful. Thank you for having me. Love being here for the live stream, Damon. And this is a very unique, this is not just a leap year. This is not scoregami. Christmas and Hanukkah engaging like this, the way they are, intersecting in this very special way this year. This does not happen very often. It hasn't happened in decades. This is Christmas was last Wednesday, 25th. That was also the first night of Hanukkah, not Christmas Eve, but Christmas night was the first night of Hanukkah. So say it with me here. So we've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This makes Monday the 5th night of Hanukkah. Here we are.
Fifth night of Hanukkah. And our present tonight is a visit from Sam Betesh. It is so good to see you, man. I mean, Christmas, Hanukkah, not since we were roommates, right?
That's right.
This
Damon,
is the world colliding.
We did. We lit the candle. We had a Christmas tree in that apartment, and we also lit the Hanukkah, the menorah, the candles. We did it. We did it all. Because
we saw Jermaine Dye break his leg with a foul ball together. We were like, "What the fuck just happened there?"
Oh, it's absolutely awful. I passed an Ike's, by the way. Here's what I love about Ike's, and you just mentioned him. I passed in Southern California. Ike's is not just a Northern California treat. There are also Southern California locations. So for everyone here watching us, make sure you don't have to just enjoy Ike's in the Bay Area. You can enjoy Ike's outside of San Francisco as well. So
over 100 locations. He just opened up one in New Orleans, which was going to be like sort of a gathering point for Niner fans at the Super Bowl this year. And well, you look at it this way, Ike lived up to his end of the bargain. They opened that restaurant. The 49ers did not live up to their end of the bargain. And Sam, I guess that brings us to the great philosophical question that is surrounding tonight's game.
Sure.
Football will never be a sport of load management. Football has always been the sport. If the player's healthy, the player plays.
That's right.
But we are looking at a world of sports where players are getting paid so handsomely. Asset protection and management in a lost season is the wise thing to do. When you're about to give a guy $50 to $60 million to be your franchise quarterback, the last thing you want to have happen would be an injury in a meaningless game in a meaningless season that bit into the next season where you're going to try to right the ship. How do you see the way the 49ers approach this? And do you think they make the right call, the wrong call? It is what it is. How do you look at the situation the Niners are in tonight?
So you've seen my living room, Damon, obviously here in California on Gaviota. You've seen the 4 television setup here and then one outside as well. So it's fine.
Sam decided the motif of his living room was going to be sports bar.
And again, having a wife and a 3-year-old now makes that interesting. Although, as you can imagine, he enjoys it. Levi, the 3-year-old, loves it. Alex, maybe not quite as excited about it, but this was essentially, you got me into the college basketball tournament. Okay. I was not as excited about it until you came into my life and you sort of taught me what it was all about. So my living room in many ways is designed for those days, the opening days of the tournament more than anything else, but also
where you need 6 TVs.
You need it. So NFL Sundays, clearly. My point here is primetime game to me in the NFL means nothing. The stat that followed Kirk Cousins for all those years, if you're playing an NFL game in your life, if that's your career, that's a primetime game no matter what. I mean, you're playing in the most important league in the world at 1 Eastern on Sundays. Guess what that is? That's primetime. Right. You're playing in the NFL. It's primetime. You're telling me that the fact that the game's on Sunday night instead of Sunday afternoon matters to these guys, or Monday night. So there's, to me, no obligation for playing because the game is on ESPN tonight. That means nothing. It's simply that it's week 17, and should this matter? You hit on all the points that for me would matter. As a fan, even as a season ticket holder at this game means less than week 1 next season. Period. It means less. Great. Even if I'm holding the ticket. In fact, if I'm such a beloved fan that I chose to go to this game, and this is the one game I could go to all season, I am still more invested in next season's outcome than the 4-hour experience I'm walking into for this evening. And but that just goes for anything.
Ricky Pearsall just made quite a one-handed grab here on the sideline. And, when you're asking for what did you want to see out of this game, I want to see young players get an opportunity to show us what they can do. And Ricky Pearsall just made the nicest, most acrobatic catch of his young career, a disappointing rookie season, all things
considered. Wait a second. Can we say disappointing? The fact that the guy's on the field is a miracle.
It is. It is. But when you get on the field, when we get past it's a miracle you're out there, we eventually have to start evaluating you by what you do out there.
Yes.
And yes. But I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. It is not, getting a big impactful season out of a rookie wide receiver doesn't happen very often anywhere.
No,
it really doesn't happen with Kyle Shanahan. And it really hasn't happened, unfortunately, with Ricky Pearsall or Jacob Cowing. Again, this team drafted 2 wide receivers last draft and has had wide receiver problems all season long.
Can we just say one thing? Bill Belichick had a very difficult time at that position.
He did.
Wide receiver was not easy for Belichick. And even look this season, and obviously it's not Belichick anymore, but nobody's talking about Polk this season as rookie wide receivers, and that's where New England went. I mean, and they had a chance, by the way. That was a trade with San Diego for McConkey. That ended up turning into McConkey. So it's sort of McConkey or Polk, New England and LA, right, who's very, very happy with McConkey, obviously. So back to your point, this game should be about evaluation. This should be a glorified preseason game. And as a fan, that's also exciting. Getting to know what next season's going to be.
Tanner Mordecai get a start. Pull him up from the practice squad. See if he's going to be on the roster behind Purdy next year. Yes or no? Because you're going to have to go cheap in the rest of your quarterback room if you're paying Brock that big cake. So
find out which guys have incentives in their contracts. And if they're out there to play, if someone needs 10 yards to hit a bonus, if someone needs 1 touchdown pass to hit a bonus, get them out there, get that taken care of, make that the priority, and get them off the field and keep them healthy. That's it. The rest of it should matter. And these guys want to win. But the other side of it is this. Here's what I find so interesting. The fact that it doesn't matter for the Lions makes it an easy decision. If this was knocking the line, if this was saying, hey, Lions, remember when you had a 20-point lead in the NFC Championship game and you couldn't get it done? We're here to punch you in the mouth again. That would be fun. That would be exciting. You think you've got such a great season going on and we're having a shitty one? We're here to punch you in the mouth, knock you down a peg.
Play spoiler.
Spoiler's fun. Spoiler's fun, but you got no shot at that.
And just from a competitive integrity standpoint, like you owe it to the other teams in the NFC North to give your Lions your best punch. But no matter what happens, there is no change of the circumstance that the Lions will be in next week against the Vikings.
In fact, what's more egregious than even discussing what the Niners are doing here is actually the Lions. What's more relevant is what are the Lions doing? Right. Because Goff being out there even for a drive, this doesn't make a lot of sense. They've got, look, the difference, think about what's on the line for the Lions. Forget about the fact that there's t-shirts and hats associated with winning the NFC North. This is the greatest swing. As far as obviously making the playoffs, missing the playoffs, we all admit is the greatest swing possible. Outside of that, 1 seed, bye week, hosting every game to wild card weekend on the road. That's the greatest swing you can have. And that's what's on the line next week for the Vikings and the Lions, no matter what happens in this game tonight. This game has no bearing on that. The Lions have a mini Super Bowl right before the playoffs against their greatest rival for this season. And this game was this was going to be the adorable NFC Championship rematch. It's not that,
right?
Based on what's happening for the Niners anyway.
Do you want the road to the Super Bowl to go through the Pontiac Silverdome, or don't you?
That's it. That's it. I mean, come on, Damon. Think about. I mean, just think about for the Niners. How about this? Think about for the Niners. In 2 seasons ago, Niners didn't have home field advantage. Went to Philadelphia. Obviously, we all remember Purdy gets injured. They don't go to the Super Bowl. Then they host the NFC Championship game against the Lions, erase a 20-point deficit, and go to the Super Bowl. That's the difference between getting the 1 seed and not. And This is what's on the line. What the Lions should have. We should be looking at nobody recognizable tonight for the Lions. That's what's even more surprising here.
No doubt. No doubt. Sam Betesh, boys and girls, joining us. Sam's got a YouTube page now with Andrew Siciliano, who's a longtime NFL Network host, a longtime Red Zone host. He stepped away from the on-camera duties to become this year's radio play-by-play voice of the Cleveland Browns. And awesome. Considering he grew up a Browns fan, what a great thing for him. I know that it happened under circumstances he would have rather not seen play out. Yes. The Browns lost their longtime radio play-by-play man to cancer before the season started, and Siciliano was tapped to be the replacement. And by the way, Siciliano's done a great job as the replacement. Please give him the best.
Sure. He loves Damon. He loves you. He loves this channel. He loved being a part of it. He'll do it again, and he's a huge fan of your work as well. So
thank you, Kyle Juszczyk. Oh, touchdown, Kyle Juszczyk. Oh my God, here come the 49ers opening a can o whoop ass. A couple of red zone trips, a couple of touchdowns. Kyle Juszczyk actually doing something positively to affect the outcome of a game for a while. Yeah, he is in. You can take a look at that. That is a touchdown for sure.
He's
no doubt about it.
No push needed. We don't need a challenge flag on this one. By the way, the Pearsall, I'm surprised the Pearsall touch, the first touchdown was not called 6 on right immediately.
Yeah, I thought it was just right away.
I mean, when you see someone catching it at the goal line in that way, obviously the point of the ball touching his body at that point, I mean, unless he is clearly bobbling that ball, that should have been called on the field. And I always side with calling it a touchdown so you get that automatic review anyway.
Right. When in doubt, trigger the review. Easier?
I mean, I do understand the problem there is that you then need that irrefutable evidence to take it away. So I can understand getting right, but the Pearsall looked absolutely like that. Well, good for my bet tonight. I do hope the Niners win this game for sure.
14-6. Niners are covering. Look at that. Look at that.
Nice. They certainly are. In a game, like I said, that does not, as we both know, means nothing for either side. And again, pride is just out the window. I'm with you. Again, I'm a Niners fan. I don't want anything to happen tonight that's going to affect next season. Nothing.
No doubt. No doubt.
I want Kittle. And we're not talking. And again, here's the other thing, especially when what's the number one issue for the 49ers season 2024? What's the number one issue been this season? Health.
Well, it's on the field. Yes. So I'm starting to think like, all right, trouble up front on the offensive line and wide receiver. But yes, definitely. Overall, no doubt about it. Where's Christian McCaffrey been? Where's Trent Williams, for goodness sakes? That has been a huge part of the downfall of this year.
I mean, McCaffrey, Mason, Garendo. I mean, it's just that just follows it. Debo's always going to sit his 3 games. Kittle's got a couple games where he's up in the air. You know, I mean, even Purdy was out games this season. I mean, this season has been rough in regards to injury. And so now you're talking about guys playing where they could be injured, etc. Am I happy it's a competitive, interesting Monday Night Football game? Sure. But regardless.
Here's the thing. You go ahead and win. Just as long as no one gets hurt, that's all that really matters. Barry Ford coming in with a super. Thank you very much, Barry. Mary said this one's for Jill, sending the love, prosperous 2025. Thank you very, very much, Barry. Appreciate that. Brett just saying, hit that like button. Yeah, now's the time to do it, boys and girls. Hit the like button, make that algorithm, pick this show up, kiss it on its forehead. I want Damon to take a shot. We get 50 supers in here. And I start drinking Betesh.
Really? What are we drinking, by the way?
Bottle pulls. It's a little Michter's bourbon right there.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Nice.
Really good stuff. And thank you very much, Sarah, the domestic goddess. Sarah, let's go. Proud of him. There you go. Sarah's feeling it.
Okay, so she is. So I just feel like it's all about next year. And by the way, the NFC North is fascinating. And Damon, you spent a lot of time, obviously Bears wise. I know there's obviously that runs through you as well with understanding the Bears over the years as well. And that NFC North coming down to Detroit and Minnesota the way that it is, and the fact that it's going to be the 1 seed is so spectacular and so surprising this season because of Darnold. I mean, Darnold also, I mean, from a Niners perspective, is there any part of the Niners out there who are thinking, you know what? Darnold's sort of like a tip of the cap to Shanahan. The resurrection of Sam Darnold does not happen without that stop in Santa Clara. Clearly.
I absolutely think that it got Sam Darnold out of the clinical, provable, top-down dysfunction of the New York Jets. When the New York Jets, of course, they took out Zach Wilson and Sam Darnold. They destroyed Aaron Rodgers, for goodness sakes. So this is a powerful level of dysfunction that I don't think anyone can overcome. I think sitting behind Purdy gave Darnold some perspective. I think it made him work harder. I think Shanahan absolutely coached some good football into him. And then he gets behind the offensive line, an incredibly friendly quarterback coach in Kevin O'Connell, with Justin Jefferson being the best weapon, not named Jamar Chase in football. Yeah. I mean, and well, Saquon Barkley aside, of course, and we'll get to him in a little bit, Sam. I know you want to talk about him.
All right.
But it's Darnold is in a really good situation. And I think all quarterbacks are an accumulation of the situation they're in. You put Sam Darnold on Carolina, there is no great comeback, feel good Sam Darnold story to tell, I don't think.
No, and again, you mentioned Carolina. That was the last time he even blipped on the radar, and that was a 3-0 start. But then that fell apart. That was the Matt Rule team that ultimately did not finish things out. And you can see Darnold at USC. And look, there's no. I mean, look, you're not in the discussion for the number 1 draft pick overall if it's not there somewhere. And of course, it's a combination of things, and we talk about this all the time. But both Baker and Darnold, really, because Baker's career was also Baker Mayfield was in the same boat as Darnold and resurrected it there in Tampa. I mean, it was in Cleveland. He had won the playoff game. He had beaten the Steelers in the playoffs. It felt like it was going the right way. The next season, it didn't. The Browns moved on, and it seemingly was done for Baker Mayfield. And this has been a beautiful story for what happened to him in Tampa. But the Darnold thing, having those ties to Shanahan, is really it's interesting, and it's just that quarterback school that he went to. I think again, it's a bit of a tip of the cap to the Niners in a way, a soft spot that the Niners should have to watch Darnold and see what he's doing in Minnesota.
Yeah, no doubt. Look, we got over 200 people in the room right now. We're not even at 100 likes, so just hit the thumbs up. It's really easy to do. Costs you no money. It's not like we're going to be crashing and invading your algorithms obnoxiously or anything like that. We got Space Cowboy going with 1, 2, 3, 4 super stickers right in a row. I don't even know if you meant to do that, Space Cowboy, but thank you very much. Hopefully you're not just pushing buttons by accident. And if it is, no refunds. So thank you. Thank you very, very much. Really appreciate it. And happy New Year indeed.
Did you see what Joe Schmo? Did you see what Joe Schmo wrote there? I just want to give an ode.
Vikings boat party. Lake Minnetonka, is that it?
Yes, it was Minnetonka. And do you remember this? So that year, we're going back to, this is maybe 2007, I believe. But this was that Halloween. I had a group of friends who dressed up as the Vikings on the boat.
On the Lake Minnetonka.
Yeah, such a good Halloween costume. That was the best.
About things you probably can't do anymore, right?
No, that was the best NFL boat story out before Odell had the picture on the boat. Before
we got the New York Giants picture and yacht party that basically ended the franchise.
So I think someone said, right, that was the last time or someone gave me what their record is since then. They're well under 500 since that boat picture. But yeah, it has been.
Is that it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, obviously they've won a playoff game. We can't say they haven't won a playoff game since then because Daniel Jones, we already talked about it. He did win a playoff game.
A lot of good that did him.
Look how that sunk the Giants. Look how that playoff win. Sometimes, okay, you root for your team to win in the playoffs, but be careful sometimes. Be careful. And we can talk about this because with Purdy, there's still, I think, no quarterback effects.
Hold on. Gibbs is getting loose right now. Hold on here, Sammy. Oh, boy. Gibbs just broke one off.
Okay,
he's good, man. He's so good.
Why is Gibbs playing? For a team that lost David Montgomery, why is Gibbs playing?
Great question.
The most important 4 hours of their season is happening next
week.
Sunday night. This short week, most important game, Sunday Night Football. There's a little bit of me that understands the demons of this building last season to this team. For those that didn't watch the receiver series on Netflix, it's so, even if you just fast forward, if you don't love Justin Jefferson and Devontae Adams and you want to fast forward to that, to see Kittle, Debo, and Amon-Ra St. Brown relive their path and experience in the NFC Championship game, that is special. That is so cool just to follow that all the way and to see both sides of it. Mike Silver with a nice moment in there when they're watching the end of the game, the Niners to clinch. But I mean, there was really, I understand for the Lions that it feels as if there was something that happened in this building last year that they have to overcome this season, right? This is the scene of the crime. It happened here, but there's nothing, this outcome does not wipe that out. And there's nothing to prove. They played, first of all, most people thought they played over their head that day in building that lead. Nobody saw the Lions coming in and leading at halftime the way they were in that NFC Championship. So I just don't, I really, especially at that position, to have lost Montgomery and playing Gibbs tonight, I just don't understand when everything is in front of you.
Okay, so it looks like Jared Goff has been sacked, but we have a head-on-head collision between Nick Bosa and who is down?
Let's see. Oh, wow, okay, and they're breaking away, so we're not going to be able to see that unless I rewind.
So we got stingers. I mean, you want to talk about what's something you don't want happening tonight? That would be Nick Bosa suffering a neck injury. Good, for goodness sakes.
By the way, what's the number one Nick Bosa play? What's the number one Nick Bosa play for this season? I've got a quick answer.
The MAGA hat.
Okay.
You want to talk about what's your record since? Let's do the MAGA hat. What's the Niners record since that? What is Nick Bosa's biggest play of the season? It's been a very quiet season for Nick.
The number one memorable play from Nick Bosa this season for me will be Baker Mayfield escorting him out of bounds to convert a 4th and 7. That play will live in my mind forever. That it was because it's so impressive that it's converting a 4th and 7 where the game's over. I mean, yes, the Bucs did eventually lose that game, but it's extending the game. It's getting you close to overtime there for Baker. It's essentially a game tying drive. And considering the Hall of Famer on the other end who is trying to tear you down, the strength out of Baker Mayfield on that play is legendary. That is legend status Baker Mayfield play to do that against Bosa.
Outside of planting the flag in the stadium,
yes.
I mean, planting a stiff arm on the guy is probably much more embarrassing too. It looks like Nick Bosa is jogging into the blue 10 here, boys and girls.
This is what we're talking about, Damon. This is what we're talking about.
D. Winters is sitting over here trying to open his mouth. He's got I got my jaw.
Somewhere in my jaw. I'll get
rocked a little bit right there. They got to Goff, but what happened was Bosa and Winters just both collided helmet into helmet
friendly
there.
Fire here. That's the last thing.
It was a total friendly fire. Look, football's a dangerous sport. That's all it is, boys and girls. It's why you don't want players who matter towards next year playing what we're essentially end of season preseason games.
This is just an out of sequence week 18 game. Right. That's really what this is. In essence, if this were week 18, no one would flinch at saying, all right, we understand it. You're sitting guys down, you're resting. Right. I mean, but the Lions actually have what comes down to it's basically a playoff game next week in so many ways. I mean, it's not going to end the season for either team, but it is so stacked and full of meaning. And this one just isn't. Whatever. I mean, look, Dan Campbell's got a plan. They're following him no matter what he does. And I've loved the way he's coached. This is just bizarre considering the injury and especially at that position. Gibbs to me is the one. Gibbs would not touch the field. If I had anything to do with the Lions, that's the guy I just don't want to see out there with Montgomery already shelved. That's just,
I mean, at what point in this game would the score, what does the score need to be for you to just white flag it if you're Dan Campbell? Or are you going to be so married to the fact that you're Dan Campbell saying we got to, bite some kneecaps off? They're going to, oh my God, little hook and ladder. Hook and ladder down the side. What a call. What a play call designed the whole way. Williams has scored his second touchdown of the night. And if you're the Lions, you got to go for 2. And it looked like Williams jumped out of did like a little Levi's leap, and he's lucky.
By the way, do you remember this play, Damien? This won the Cardinals game for the Lions. Do you remember this? So early in the season, this is either week 3 or week 4. Detroit and Arizona are actually in a 1-score battle. Arizona had just pick-sixed Goff, and it was there was a penalty that wiped out the pick-6 for the Cardinals, and then within 4 plays, the Lions ran that exact play to go up 2 scores and never looked back against the Cardinals. But they ran that against Arizona, absolutely, and it worked beautifully.
That is some like Big 12 Baylor Texas Tech overtime style of play right there.
That was great.
Wow, and beautiful. On third down, they convert, not going for 2. Dan Campbell again. Why wouldn't you look to tie it up right there, Dan? I'm surprised that you're not going for it right there, but all right, you don't need it certainly. And we got more of a game than maybe a lot of people expected here. We got more offense than maybe most expected out of this game. We are at commercial break now.
How'd you like
9 remaining in the second quarter?
How'd you like the play that Ben Johnson drew up against the Bears, where Goff pretends to fall down with
I mean, first of all, did you even need to put that one on film for everyone to see against the Bears? I was a little surprised by that, but I'll tell you, it's so funny how often a special teams punt return momentary bobble can be the thing that unleashes that play. Something that throws timing off. The natural rhythm and timing of a football play is that shit pops more often than not. It really does. Yes. And you might hold your breath there for a second, but it benefits. It really does. And that was a hell of a play. It
was a hell of a play. And one step in the wrong direction from a linebacker is all you need there. And everybody bites on that. Ball, right? I mean, everyone's thinking ball. Right. And the funny thing is that you heard Goff talk about it afterwards, that Johnson actually wanted him. He asked him, do you think you could fumble the ball on purpose and get it back? And Jared's
like, can you dribble it for me?
Jared's like, it is a football. I don't know that I want to put it on the ground necessarily, but they came up with that, and Gibbs sold it hard. I mean, that was done. It was executed beautifully, but so was the hook and ladder. And from a Niners standpoint,
that was a beautiful play right there. So we got ourselves a game down at Levi Stadium. We got ourselves a live stream right here. It is brought to you, as you can see, powered by BetUS. Go ahead and use promo code YouTube150 when you sign up at BetUS. You get a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. Our good friends at the Dubliner and West Portal, a phenomenal bar. Get yourself to the Dubliner and West Portal. When in San Francisco, go tell Kenny and John that Damon and the Plouse sent you. They love hearing that. And my man Ike is something delicious just waiting for you. Look at it this way, Sammy. We got rings. You wanted rings tonight? Oh. There you go. We got onion rings. It's right on the sandwich. You can get it right there. Little ribeye, little steak sauce, little provolone. Me, I don't go any tomato on it. I go lettuce, onions, pickles, maybe a jalapeno. Oh, okay. And I'm a French bread guy. I'm not a Dutch crunch guy, Sammy.
I like French too. The right French bread. Dutch is sort of a cheat code. It's beautiful. But Dutch crunch is usually because your French bread would not be up to par. We know what Ike's it all is. But normally at a sandwich shop, if they're going Dutch crunch, they're not as excited about the French bread. And French bread is the king when it comes to sandwiches. I'm with you on that. And the rings, of course. And Damon does have rings. And that is a gorgeous sandwich, by the way.
Thank you very much.
That is a gorgeous
sandwich. Again, as a human being, not much. As a sandwich, goddamn handsome.
That came together. Williams, man. I mean, this Lions team, look, as an Eagles fan, I know firsthand how a team with injuries can win a Super Bowl. But that is, if the Lions don't, that will be the story. Is obviously you go back to, I mean, there's the Hutchinson injury, the Montgomery injury, and then on defense, they are decimated beyond the Hutchinson thing over the last 2 weeks.
3-4 other guys.
It's just weird. It's just, again, this game, to see him playing like this is weird, considering. Although on defense, I'll say this: on defense, you probably want to see those guys that haven't been in there now. I can understand on the defensive side, because of the injuries that have new guys in there. Let's keep the defense out there. Let's see what we got. We need to scheme up the defense. Fine, I get that, but Gibbs, St. Brown, Goff, not options in this game for me. Not at all.
4 possessions, 4 touchdown drives in this game. Goff and Purdy, 13 of 13 so far with 3 touchdowns in between them. So very good start.
Yes. You know what? I'm sorry. I have one thing to say about why offensively the line should be playing who they're playing. I actually, and I've said it, Goff could win MVP. Jared Goff could win MVP. Jared Goff could win MVP. He's got a 5 interception game, which they won, by the way. But Jared Goff, if you go back and look, even in the loss, by the way, in the loss to the Bills, 5 touchdowns. I mean, Jared Goff go and look at the numbers completion percentage wise. He's nearly 75%. If they get the 1 seed, got on again, Allen's going to sit, right? So you basically got a week now. Week 18, you're going to have Josh Allen sitting, and you're going to have Goff and Lamar playing major games. I also want to throw it out that Burrow also, if the Bengals can sneak in, Burrow is still absolutely in that conversation. We can get to the Saquon thing. I don't want to have the Saquon conversation as part of this right now. I just want to say, I just want it to be said out loud enough times as possible. But Goff could absolutely win MVP. I'd have no problem with that.
I wouldn't either. I think that it is going to come down between like Allen, Lamar, and Barkley in some way, and I don't have a problem with that at all. Clearly, Joe Burrow is getting Cincinnati Bengaled right out of his MVP campaign because the team's been a letdown around him. I think if we're all being honest with each other, the MVP of this league is Patrick Mahomes. Like, I don't care what his stats are. The fact that he is getting like the Jordan treatment now. Any year Jordan was out there, he was the MVP of the league, but they needed to give it to somebody else just to not give it to him every single year. If you gave it to Mahomes, I wouldn't say a word. I really wouldn't.
That's the one thing I haven't heard of all the people that love to get mad on camera about this debate. That's one I haven't heard enough. And this will be one historically for guys like you and me. We'll look back. We'll talk to grandchildren.
One to Ricky Pearsall.
It's the Pearsall game. Let's go.
It's the Ricky Pearsall game.
Let's go.
Where were you when Ricky Pearsall's nuts dropped? Well, I was watching Damon and Sam on YouTube, and it was a hell of a night.
We're going to look back. Wow. 5th night of Hanukkah, Ricky Pearsall. This is all we wanted.
By the way, total busted coverage. Oh my God. Ricky was running wide open right there. He just separated from that bunch formation. As Greg Papa described that bunch, right?
That's a special one right there. Really, I mean,
what do the Niners do here on they're in the red zone? A little pitch back to Guerrero.
What a by the way, great play design. Great play design.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, but they're down there. They're officially down there.
So we're gonna have every drive. Are we gonna have every drive end in a touchdown here for the entire first half? Let's go.
Just going full PlayStation 5 game, no punting,
all touchdown. Just no punting at all. A missed extra point, which you can again credit the Niners for. That was a nice play on the
already start playing for that last possession. Whoever has got the ball last wins.
Let's go. That at least would be worth everyone playing if it comes down to that. If we get one of those,
9 131 yards and 2 touchdowns. Nice start to his evening, to say the least. Purdy's going to take off up the middle. Purdy, do not get hurt. Purdy dives in, touchdown. Oh my goodness, Brock. Don't do that again tonight. Holy shit. Do not risk yourself. Do not be diving head first. But there you go. Brock Purdy, 9-yard touchdown rush. And the 49ers are in position to take a 21-13 lead. Another touchdown drive, 3 touchdowns, 3 possessions. Where was this all year, Sammy? This is like the New York Giants game. You guys disappointed all year long, and now when you needed to start losing, you look hard, unbeatable with Drew Lock out there, and now Brock Purdy and the 49ers offense has had as crisp a first half as we have seen in any game.
Yeah, where was this in the snow in Buffalo, right?
Where was this in the Dome in Minnesota back in week 2? Where was this at SoFi Stadium in week 3? Where was this against the Seahawks at home? Where was this in a handful of games?
Can we go back to week 3 real quick? Because we're going to have this conversation. We should. In regards to paying Brock Purdy, week 3 was the game. If you're in charge of the arbitration argument for Brock Purdy, go to that week 3 loss to the Rams. I thought that was Brock Purdy's most impressive game of his career, and here's why. You had no McCaffrey in that game. You had no Kittle, and I believe it was no Debo. I think
Debo as well, yeah.
I think Ayuk was in that game. It was the Jennings coming out game. It was the Jennings 3-touchdown game. I mean, I certainly remember it for that. But Brock Purdy was so impressive in that game where you thought, wow, there's no weapons on the field today. This is going to be ugly. And there were no weapons for the Rams either. They were both incredibly injured in that game. But because it was no Kupp, no Nakua as well. But that game, Brock Purdy put that team on his back, put that team in position to win. I have no idea how they not only lost that game in regulation. How did the Niners lose that game in regulation? I have no idea. Up 10 late the way that they were. But that, in fact, didn't they win that game without an onside kick recovery? I don't think they won. Because I remember the statistic for a while was there were only 2 onside kicks recovered all season, and they were both against the Ravens.
No, so I don't think there was an onside kick recovery. It was a kick return for touchdown.
Yes, you're absolutely exactly. Yes, you're right. So it wasn't even an onside kick, and they made that comeback. Exactly. So, but that game, if you go back, forget about how painful the end was, and it was brutal. It was disgusting. But look at what Purdy did in that game. He was so special without anyone around him. And if you're making an argument that, oh, Purdy's done this because of Shanahan's scheme or because of the weapons that the Niners have, etc., if you're going to pay Purdy and you want to look at what he can do, that would be the game. I would show up with those week 3 reels and say, here we go. This is the guy that we're going to pay $50 million for.
By the way, it didn't cost Julio $50 million. 5 was a generous enough number there. Thank you very much. Brock the Rock Purdy. Thomas coming in with a super as well. This O-line is them. Oh, we're already at the him-them portion of this offensive line play. Well, I'll tell you, Matt Mayoko, he let you know who was out there earlier on this one. You got Charlie Heck, who they signed off the street like 2 weeks ago. It's his first start as a member of the Niners. Nick Zakelj, who is most famous for being from Fordham and Brock's roommate. Jake Brendel, probably the worst starting center in football all year long. Dominic Pooney, really nice rookie year, but he's hit a little bit of a rookie wall. Colton McKivitz, not exactly the most steady Eddie right tackle in football. And this is what Purdy is playing behind tonight. And so far, playing behind this version of the Washington hog mollies of the Redskin days of yore. Yikes. Brock Purdy is 9 for 9. Excuse me. Hold on. Wait, make sure I got this all.
No, definitely one more, right? One more since then. I thought the long Pearsall was the 10th. No, maybe it was the 9th. All right.
9 for 9, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's got a perfect 158.3 rating. And Goff is 6 for 6. A touchdown and a perfect 158, but there has yet to be an incomplete pass in this football game unless it happened as I was reading that to you.
It has not.
And this is the level of efficiency nobody thought that they were signing up for tonight as we approach about 6 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. We got nearly 270 people in the room right now. If everyone leaned in and hit that like button, there would be 300, then 400 people in the room because YouTube will keep on pushing this show out to the good people of YouTube. Oh, I unclicked you there for a second, Sammy. I need a producer. What I need is a caliber producer that Sam Betesh knows all about.
We can make that happen. We've stolen me from you. We've stolen other beautiful producers from you. Shout out to John Goulet, of course, as well. I think even Cyrus could help us on this one. Yeah, it's definitely
Brock, but that's going to have to buy 3 more Toyotas after tonight. He's going to have to be in the Toyota business again tonight for sure. Nick Zakelj, you get a Toyota. Now, here's the thing. Everyone got one already. I mean, I'm guessing the new guy didn't.
I know. This is just Heck. He just showed up, right? They're learning his name, so that's probably not. What'd you think of the Joe Burrow samurai swords that he bought for his lineman? That's a cool gift.
Candlesticks make a nice gift, but yes, samurai swords, I'm down with it. Given his money, that gift sucks. Unless those are all like Hattori Hanzo swords straight out of Kill Bill. I'm not that,
okay. Crouching Tiger samurai swords. I'd rather the Toyota. I'd say in that case, I'd rather Toyotas. Apparently, Burrow explained that. Apparently, they wanted guns, and he said, "I'm not buying you guys happens. But,
well, I mean, it is Cincinnati.
yeah, exactly. You never know.
Fine.
You never know. I think we finally had an incompletion if that's not a fumble by Goff. So,
I mean, well, first of all, you're telling me that is that is an incomplete pass. Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Coming forward. Unlike Kenny Pickett. You saw that play Kenny Pickett tried to make or unmake yesterday?
What was
How athletic is it? There was something out of Cirque du Soleil, I thought. That was remarkable, really.
He was going to do a cartwheel holding the ball.
Holding the ball. Full circle. I feel like you needed a flaming circle around that. I didn't know what he was trying to do there, but again, another thing that happens on Sundays that I could never do athletically. So there you have it. I'm impressed with this game in so many ways, but I really am. I just don't like watching the game feeling as if the number one thing I want is for people to get off the field healthy and away and into the next week. And for the Niners, the next season, I just don't want to see anything. And again, it's just both coaches have it staring in their face how wrong it could all go. The Niners know how when a season starts without your best players on the field, how that looks. I mean, think about it. And by the way, do you put it on that? I mean, the Niners to me was like playing catch up all season with the idea that McCaffrey's going to be back. All you have to do to overcompensate, again, it's if your left leg is banged up and all this, right? You're now catering more to your right leg, and that's going to cause issues in your life. That's what the Niners were doing. That's what affected this Niners season is not having McCaffrey to start.
I thought also just having a 6-month-long ridiculous negotiation with Brandon Ayuk where no one could make a decision one way or the other. And I think Ayuk was pretty damn immature in that. And he, agrees to a number that was sitting on the table for a month, which is frustrating. The whole Trent Williams hold in, that was a little ridiculous too. Like there was no scenario where Trent wasn't coming back where you weren't going to pay him.
Oh, he's worth everything. Yeah.
What did you gain? What did you gain by his holdout? Because I think it cost you one of 2 early season losses. I think the Niners need to re-examine how they go about extending and approaching contracts in the offseason. Because they made their own hard hill to climb even steeper by just acting slowly on deals we knew were going to get done.
And again, Super Bowl hangover. This is right. This is the classic Super Bowl, which by the way had not been a thing in a while. Super Bowl hangover at one point knocked each team that lost in the Super Bowl was just bang, not in the playoffs, bang, not in the playoffs. And then that changed a few years ago. So it's not always that.
Right.
This will be one of those where it did apply. But you already had that to overcome where the emotion. And again, for this Niners team, a little different. Niners to lose to the Chiefs twice, up 10 twice, the overtime coin toss. Did you do the right thing? I mean, there was a lot. This was not that any Super Bowl loss is more painful than another one, but to have it happen
as painful as it gets.
And again, the recent memory of the other one sitting on you, same opponent. You're right. This was going to be a rough one to come to really muster up the strength to say we can do it again. We're going to climb the mountain again. That was going to be hard anyway. And then exactly what you said about the contracts and with McCaffrey out, so this should be, And now, and guess what? By the way, and now what? So what are you going to do? So how fast is this Purdy thing going to happen? How fast is this Purdy thing going to happen this offseason then? Because exactly what you just said.
Here's the thing. I want it locked up before the NFL draft. I mean, know who you are going into that decisively, critically, know what the numbers look like, have Purdy's number locked in so you know what you're spending in free agency. Get it done early. I mean, if there is nothing to negotiate because he is good resume, young enough, and here's the deal, man. Market timing. If you are a really good quarterback hitting the market at the right time, you're getting $55 million. That's just it. That's all there is to it.
It's really one of Andrew's
nothing to negotiate.
That was one of Siciliano's favorite points to make when we were discussing in the offseason. So you had Tua and Trevor Lawrence. So there's a couple things. So Purdy, the guy that's going to stay in the Purdy negotiations is clearly Daniel Jones. But there's 2 other things to look at. Look at Trevor Lawrence and Tua. So the guys that most recently got paid in an offseason, and both looked like slammed coming into the season. Nobody was complaining about those contracts. I mean, we should all complain when Mahomes isn't the top paid guy. Let's admit that. Just like you said about the MVP conversation. So anytime you're looking at a list of quarterback salaries and Mahomes is not on top.
Not even in the top 10 right now.
Right. So we should all complain about that. So let's all admit that looks ridiculous on paper. But what you just said is the most important thing. If you are a quarterback and your number comes up at this time, like we saw with Dak Prescott, you just become, you're a starting NFL level quarterback. You're going to be highest paid. And the next guy that's up, you're going to be the highest paid. And the next guy that's up, you're going to be the highest paid. So Brock Purdy is in position to be the highest paid quarterback in this league. And it's just going to come down to how much more he's making than Tua or Trevor. That's it.
Life is timing, boys and girls. Life is timing, and Brock's timing is going to benefit him tremendously. And look, the team is going to be able to put a good team around, but they're good Purdy. There are good teams around Jalen Hurts. He gets paid an awful lot of money. There's good teams around Josh Allen. He gets paid an awful lot of money. There's a pretty good team around Patrick Mahomes. I know it's not as sexy as it used to be, but clearly by record, that's still a pretty good football team.
And by the way, greatest collection of receivers. In case the league wants to be more terrified about the Chiefs, who they're 15-1. They're 15-1, and of course they don't have to win next week, but they're 15-1. And this is the best collection of receivers he's ever had. Look at Hollywood Brown, Juju, Xavier, Hopkins, and then we'll say Kelsey.
Hopkins is the game changer, right?
Of course,
that's the game changer.
Of course he is. But Hollywood now, right? I mean, Hollywood, if he had played all season, maybe say, okay, he's Hollywood. Fresh Hollywood is also an interesting wrinkle. It's really that's gonna rear its head in the playoffs. I see that. I do see that. But that's scary. But Purdy's getting paid. Yeah, Purdy's
a screen that's going to set up a big third down here, Sam. Let's get into this game. We're about 90 seconds to play, minute 24 on the clock. The clock is stopped right now. It's going to be 3rd and 5. The 49ers, who've just been getting gashed defensively. I mean, everything this offense has shown up to do tonight, there has been but one sack on Jared Goff, very little resistance with anything the Lions are doing offensively. Another bad night of tackling, another night of leaning, a night of questioning Nick Sorensen. And, hey, everyone expects rookies to be finished products on day one, which is a little silly. Everyone expects first-year coordinators to be finished products on day one. It's not going to happen. That's why I didn't like the hire to begin with. I wanted to see an experienced defensive coordinator, not as an overseer in Brandon Staley when his defenses in Los Angeles were bad compared to what Harbaugh is getting out of basically the same product now.
Amazing. Yeah.
So
no, you called it. The guy you'd want to see, the adjustment that should have been made was what happened in New York. When Saleh, when Saleh gets that phone call, that's an immediate, you're just here in the building hanging out. Whether you get the job title or not, you're at least hanging out.
By the way, we had a stopped play on 3rd down. So 4th and 3, Jared Goff is out on this field. Jared Goff is the Lions and Dan Campbell are going to run a play here.
Ben Johnson is ordering from the menu for sure right now. Ben Johnson.
All I can tell you right now is that
menu. Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass.
There's Dan. That's our guy. What's he got queued up here on 4th?
Come on, D's nuts.
Let's see what he's got. Goff dropping back deep into the end zone. Incomplete, no flags. The 49ers defense has held in the red zone for the first time in a calendar year, as far as I'm concerned.
And the first drive of this game that has not ended in a touchdown for either team.
No punts. Is still in this game. No punts. What a play by Diamador Lenore, by the way. No, excuse me. That was Renardo Green, the rookie.
Going for Laporta there. Going for Laporta.
Yep. Renardo Green. What a great play by the rook. I mean, are you still a rook this deep into your rookie year? I guess you are. But
what a play. No, spectacular play.
Hell of a play. Spectacular play. With it. By the way, Laporta, who is a far larger man. Never daunted. Huge. Hell of a play. We got happiness. We got Red Jet. Happy. Mustafa with a hit. Yeah, dude, but it was Green who made that beautiful, beautiful deflection.
And
nice
play. It's been a big weekend for the tight ends. McBride had a tremendous day. Pitts had a huge play on Sunday Night Football as well. It's been a great, great weekend for the tight ends. So Kelsey had the record-setting touchdown on Christmas as well. So likely,
By the way, you
also
can't
was in the
flag
end zone.
that celebration. That's a tribute to Tony Gonzalez. Come on, what are we doing?
What are we doing? What are we doing? It always brings me back to the Key and Peele skit, where it's like the 2 thrusts versus the 3rd thrust.
Right. So one of the funnier points I saw was so Beyonce comes out on Christmas and does an incredibly complicated halftime show with a million moving parts.
Beautiful
she's
white horse,
an entertainer, no doubt about it. And at several times she's out there and she's doing 6 shooters. That should be a 15-yard penalty. How can you have 6 shooters at halftime, but not during the game? Can't have that there. My favorite point though about the whole, like, whenever a player does like a boom or max shooting, is that when the Patriots score a touchdown, they literally have guys dressed in Revolutionary War dudes like on their knees firing muskets.
What about the Buccaneers? The touchdown call is fire the cannon.
Fire the cannon.
They fire a cannonball essentially in the stadium, and there's Deckerhoff. Fire the cannon! Fire the cannon! Every time they're in the end zone, fire the cannon. So
see, this is where people start getting pissed off. Why the fuck do we have to wait to week 17 to start playing like this? Well, look, I don't think anybody really realized that Charlie Heck was the greatest left tackle in the history of professional football. It's a good thing the 49ers stumbled into him about 3 weeks ago.
Thanks to Mayoka giving us the lineup there. I did not know it.
Look, when you can get it cooking behind that offensive line, you get it cooking, baby. You get it cooking.
And we still got time to play with here.
And now, so the Niners got the ball to start the game. So we can't have the old Shanahan loves the wraparound.
Yeah.
But how aggressive is he going to be right here? I've always said Shanahan, it's really weird. He's conservative when he needs to be aggressive, and he's aggressive when he needs to be conservative. Here is a place where you do not want a turnover. But you do on first down want to uncork a little something. Yeah, Brock, just get rid of it. That was not working out well at all. And now Kyle will run the ball.
Yeah, this will be it.
I think now Kyle's going to get a little choky Kyle here.
How can this be the last place team in the NFC West?
In a down year for the NFC West.
NFC West was anybody's. Except, you know what's interesting? The Niners are the only team that didn't lead this division this season.
Not for a day, right?
I don't think the Niners led this division for one day this season.
Not for a day. By the way, Brock uncorked one. The 49ers are in midfield right now.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yes. Let's go.
Isaac Guerendo, a 40-yard catch and run. Another pass to Guerendo. No, excuse me. That was a replay. Look at this. Just Guerendo, a little wheel route out of the backfield. Is that what we got?
Purdy, though. Nice toss from Purdy.
Perfect throw. Layered throw right down the sideline. Beautiful. Beautiful throw.
Wow.
Shanahan, grit and teeth. He's happy.
Play. That's a nice play. Yeah,
Thomas Selman watching from Rome, Georgia. Great show.
Right.
K13. Thank you very much. George is in the house. Go Dogs. Beat Ohio State.
Wow. Okay, this got interesting.
Dude,
I wish. Can I just? Do you know what kind of Niners fan I would have been tonight had the Packers won that game yesterday? This performance by the Niners against the Lions, had the Packers beaten the Vikings yesterday, puts the Eagles in line for the 1 seed. This would have come down to all the Eagles would have needed is a win in Week 18 and I believe a Vikings win on Sunday night, and the Eagles would have been the 1 seed.
You don't have to go anywhere at halftime, right? You can stick around through halftime.
Yeah, well, let's hang. Yeah, let's hang.
Okay.
Let's chill.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we're chilling.
Yeah,
we're chilling.
John Lund came in as a second quarter guest, and we did 3.5 hours together.
Okay,
so,
these are the things that happen, right? Yeah. I can do that. I can match that. We're going. Yeah, we can roll through halftime here.
Hey, Brock uncorks another one out of bounds on the sideline. There you go. Stop the clock. 23 seconds left. Niners got a timeout to play with. Purdy's attacking sidelines. Shanahan's chomping on gum, working on a headset. The 49ers really don't have much of a hurry-up offense, so Brock is just going to spike the ball right there. And
okay, all right.
What are they looking at? Juwan Jennings, the ball got peanut punched out, but he had caught it.
I think so. Well, they're trying to hurry because of that. It was weird.
Right.
He was out of bounds though.
Football move, 2 football moves, peanut punch, fumble, but
there was an AJ Brown touchdown this season against the Rams that looked just like that. They gave AJ the touchdown, and it was he caught it, had the step, and then lost it out of bounds exactly like this.
Made a football move because he's a football guy. All right, 3rd and 2. 3rd and 2 here for the Niners. Debo in motion. What do we got up your sleeve, Kyle? Purdy underneath to Kittle. Okay, Kittle turns it upfield, drops the elbow.
Nice.
That
could have been offensive pass interference. Yeah, offensive. I was going to say offensive pass interference. I think you're going to get him for offensive pass interference.
Where is this flag? Yeah, it looks like
offensive pass interference. Offensive pass interference. I would bet money on offensive pass interference. Just whenever you see two lines laid out in the secondary. Yeah.
By the way, and Hockey League calls offensive penalties more than any other more than any other official in football. His crew throws more flags on offensive holding and offensive man downfield more than anything else.
I was right here. I was right here. Yeah. They've been cracking down on this all season. You got to make it look like a route. You got to make it look like a route. You have to make it look like a route. What it is, it just comes down to this. What you have to coach guys now is it's pinball. What you want to do is you just want to run your defender into one of his teammates. You don't want to run into him or you just want to run. You want him to knock into one of his teammates. Right. And that's the difference. Because if you do, there's nothing to call there if that happens. But if you are truly altering him and you are physical with him, that's going to get called. That sucks. That would have had him right down there. But that's been called all season.
So on 3rd and 12, they don't pick up the first down.
All right.
Jake Moody.
Let's go, Moody.
Moody, if you miss this, look at it this way. If you make this field goal, you're probably still an off-season casualty. If you miss this field goal, you might not even come out for the 3rd quarter.
That Bucks game was just egregious. And still the hero, right? I mean, still the hero in the end, I guess. But he
missed it. Dude, he missed it.
Oh.
Jake Moody. Moody's got it. He's officially on the gots to go.
Well, is it? I mean, how much do you put on that injury, right? That was a tackle against the Cardinals, right? He was on a kickoff, right? He made the tackle. He got hurt against the Cardinals. That lost the Cardinals, by the way. It was a terrible game. Moody. Yeah, it's been a weird season for kickers, right? I mean, any year in which Justin Tucker is having a down year, you could say anything's possible, but it has been a weird year for kickers.
Of course, the first year I've ever had Justin Tucker as my fantasy kicker. The wheels fall off.
This was not the year to have him. This was not the year to have him. It was not.
My roster was littered with not the year to have that guys.
But just a weird season. Not only just in Tucker in Tucker faltering the season. What about Brandon Aubrey kicked a 65-yard field goal good, and the Cowboys took it off the board because it was a 15-yard penalty against the opponent, and then the Cowboys turned the ball over on down, so they never even got those 3 points back. Not only did they not turn it into 7, it was a -3 on the night, and it was a record-setting 65-yard field goal for Aubrey, and they took it off the board. It's a weird year. It just is. That is just strange to me. But yeah, this has been a hell of a performance for the Niners. This is the Niners team. I was telling people about 3 weeks ago. I was telling people, Niners are the one team that people didn't want to see in the playoffs, and it's the one team people are not gonna see in the playoffs. Right. we don't want to see him. Yeah, you're not gonna see him. So.
Yeah, I'm using that tomorrow with Kruger. I'm definitely using that line right there.
Come
on. My buddy Sam Betesh is joining us here as our 2nd quarter guest on the Plus. It's great to have you for our watch party. We got a lot of people slipping on in now because it's halftime. So welcome. If you're just joining us, it is fantastic to have you here. We are brought to you. Our live stream is, as always, let me get this back up here, brought to you by our friends at BetUS. Right now, go and use promo code YouTube 150 to save big over at BetUS. 150% deposit bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. So thanks to BetUS. Thanks to our good friend Ike of Ike Sandwiches making it happen. By the way, sign up for that Ike's Love Rewards program. You get a free sandwich when you do sign up. Hopefully you're in a delivery area, and our good friends at the Dubliner in San Francisco. Love you guys at the Dubliner. Go in there. Get them to take great care of you. They certainly will. Muni drops you right off, picks you right up out front there at the Dubliner. Can't get better than that. Nearly 300 people in the room. Hit that like button right now. A subscribe, if you would, please, here to Damon Bruce Plus and my good friend Sam Betesh's YouTube page that he is doing with Andrew Siciliano. Tell the people where to find you, Sammy.
Yes, please come check us out at Thinking Out Loud. You can actually get us. You can get the show at Thinking Out Loud. You can also at Siciliano Show. It actually exists both places. But at Thinking Out Loud is we get all the content from Andrew and Sam, and we are thrilled about that. And thanks to you, Damon. You have really forged the path here. What you've done with Bruce Plus is so special, and it just teaches people that if you want content, if you give great content, this is where you find it. You've done an amazing job with this channel. We love it, and we're trying to do a little bit of the same at Thinking Out Loud. And yeah, you can actually get it at Thinking Out Loud, Andrew and Sam. But yes, you'll find it there. And we've got a show that we're doing on Tuesdays and Fridays throughout the football season. It's been really fun and special for Andrew following him through this Brown season as well. I mean, there's been ups and downs and getting to know Jameis Winston, and it's all been so cool for him.
What a personality that guy's got.
Oh, it's amazing. If you haven't seen it, by the way, you got to go to Andrew's, any of Andrew's social media. But the piece that Andrew did with Jameis about his top 5, his rankings for his top 5 Thanksgiving foods, that is the most special thing I've seen yet this season. It is so amazing. Just watching Jameis talk about food, it should be a tradition.
I don't even know if he's got to deal with Popeyes, but he broke down like a 6-piece Popeyes wing chicken box the other day that was as thorough a breakdown as you will ever see of anything. I mean, it's a fast food chalk talk of the first degree. It really, really is. Thank you very much, Luis. How can you not be romantic about football? Let's beat these guys. Yeah, hey, do it.
I got it.
Do it.
Get it, but it just feels I don't know why it feels hollow to me, because we know that it doesn't hurt the Lions. This is one of those, you're not gashing them the way you want to. It just doesn't. It had the Packers won that game, man. Had the Packers completed that comeback, this would have been so special. This would have been so much.
Defend home turf if you can. Craig's Kitchen, Moody just lost his job. Yeah, he's not coming back. You cannot place any faith in that guy anymore. It's not his rookie season. I don't think there's an injury. If there's an injury, why did you let him back injured when you had off the street free agents doing a better job than he has? You can find kickers on the street, man. You don't need to draft him in the 3rd round. And when they're disappointing, you got to walk away. We can get a new kicker from the UFL. Thank you, Fuji Simeon. Yeah, you can find a kicker on a soccer field for the most part. It's okay to tell Moody to lock in now. Yeah, go up to Tabor Pepper. You guys lock the fuck in. Yeah, although Debo has not done much. Let's take a real quick look, though, Sammy.
Yeah, what's Debo doing? By the way, for the season, I was going to ask you how you feel about Debo this season. I'm a huge. I know, and I love what Debo brings to this team. I think Debo he might be the biggest difference maker on this team from an attitude standpoint. I love what Debo brings to this Niners team. He's part of that he just packs a punch offensively, and I feel like Shanahan can do so much with him. And when he's in there and you can utilize him, see, without McCaffrey, it's different, because then you need to use him in those situations. But when you've got healthy McCaffrey and Debo is such a special player. When he needs to plug holes, it's not there. But when you've got McCaffrey and Debo gets to be the icing on the cake, that is this offense running its full clip.
I've always thought that Debo is the offensive violence that this team wants to play with, right? He is that guy who will run not around you, but through you. But unfortunately, I gave him the nickname earlier this year, and I'm still not coming off of it. He's Mr. Once a Month. He'll give you a really good game once a month, and then he'll be hard to find 2, 3, 4 weeks in a row. He might have been hurt during one of those weeks.
Plus a hamstring, right? Plus a hamstring somewhere in there.
Or he was out there for 55 plays and gave you 3 catches on 9 targets with 2 runs for less than 15 yards. It's just
impossible.
Disappointing year for him all the way around, but he doesn't separate like he used to. But he is a gadget guy. He is a supreme gadget guy. You don't want to pay gadget guys $28 million, but to cast him as another piece of the puzzle, not the starring piece of the puzzle, that's the role. He doesn't belong on the main stage of Lollapalooza. He's playing a side stage. He's a side
frankly, and his biggest impact this season might even be kickoffs. That's actually where he's been most consistent. That's where he's been most consistent this season.
Sam, let's just quickly look at some stats here at the half right now.
Let's do it. Come on, what do
we'll start with some team stats. Try to grow this for everyone so they can see it a little bit better. Tell me, Sam, am I working out of bounds here?
This is good. No, this looks nice. This looks nice.
260 yards for the Niners at the half, 211 for the Lions. There has just been no resistance by either team's defense.
Give me the punting statistics here. No punters. This has been a nice night for that.
Look at yards per play, 8.4, 7.0. Defense need not apply to this game. You got both quarterbacks absolutely on fire tonight.
Yeah, I'm stunned. Rushing attempts for the Lions just is mind-boggling to me. I just don't again, in a season that matters this much to Detroit, to have lost Montgomery, to have lost, I can't remember, it's Sonic and who are they? Sonic the Hedgehog and whoever the sidekick is who Montgomery and Gibbs were this season. And to have lost that second, and now everything is on Gibbs, and to be running him as much as they are, I just don't understand it. I don't understand this. I don't understand.
9 touches, 60 yards. Look at that average for Gibbs right now. I mean, here's the thing. Craig Reynolds is basically giving you the same average. He's 6.5. The other guy's 6'7". You'd think you'd want Craig Reynolds to do most of the toting for you.
This is your chance to see. Yeah, and this is your chance to see what he's got. Is this a guy that can beat your Thunder and Lightning? Your Tyrone Wheatley and Napoleon Kaufman, right? Wheatley won't go down.
Wheatley won't go. That's my single greatest contribution to NFL lore. Wheatley won't go down. I cut that highlight. Goddamn it!
You did. That was you.
Claim to fame.
I know it. That was you. Get
me.
Off the cot. Cut that thing. Let's get it in. That played. That was all week. That highlight.
I mean, I could have screwed it up. I could have cut it. Wheatley won't. No. But I included the go down because I knew that was the money.
Greg Papa has you to thank for all of that, because without you in there, it's almost like it doesn't even happen. It's like we can wipe it out of the history books without you there.
When he's going into Canton, will I be invited? Will I get a Papa family invite based on the Wheatley won't go down highlight? That's the big question everyone wants to know. Welcome everyone to our 49ers Lions watch party. My good friend Sam Betesh hanging out with us here tonight, more than a second quarter guest. He's kicking it with us, and we certainly appreciate his time. And Sam, you are hardly a new to the bandwagon, just got here Eagles fan. You've been an Eagles fan. I've known you your entire life. Now, one of the things that has been a hair pull situation is, when teams think they have the wrong coach, fans insist they have the wrong coach, even though there is an observable, measurable level of success that the coach has had that everyone doesn't necessarily like. Nick Sirianni was wearing the crown of might be a good coach, but there's just something about him that rubs everybody the wrong way. And it's not just because everybody in Philadelphia is an asshole. Like, there's just something about this guy. It didn't seem like defensive players took to him. It didn't seem like defensive coaches wanted him even talking to players on the defensive side of the ball. And there seemed to be a level of dysfunction in that Eagles locker room. We saw Hurts and Brown get into it, a lot of finger pointing there. And through all of it, they keep on winning football games. Explain to me Nick Sirianni and why it works, even though so many people didn't think it would.
Well, it's different than Chip Kelly. So Chip Kelly was disliked not only by potentially the players, and of course, don't ask Deshaun Jackson or LaShawn McCoy about him. You'll get a very straightforward answer, but also by the media. Chip Kelly spoke in a way that he thought he was smarter than everybody else, and that does not go over well in Philadelphia. Sirianni doesn't have that problem. Go back to the first press conference where everyone made fun of him for the way that he spoke. But I want to curb all of this by saying when Sirianni got the job, it's not that I thought Sirianni was the wrong guy, but Peterson, remember there was a Peterson and Wentz situation going on at the time. And absolutely. Wentz was out the building first. Wentz was gone. Wentz was now with Indianapolis. So everyone assumed Peterson kept the job. Like there was like a little bit of a battle going on. Is it going to be that it's coming down to Wentz or Peterson? Wentz goes. You think Doug Peterson's your coach? I mean, Doug Peterson's the statue, the Super Bowl, Philly special. Let's go, Peter. So when Peterson leaves, you're saying, okay, how are we replacing the only coach that ever won a Super Bowl for this team? And who's going to be better than that? And not only that, you're now hiring the former offensive coordinator's former offensive coordinator. Because remember, Frank Reich had Sirianni as his offensive coordinator. So Frank Reich is your Super Bowl offensive coordinator. He goes to Indy. His offensive coordinator was Nick Sirianni. You're hiring that guy now. And it felt, oh, wow. This is you're starting. Remember, you're starting from nothing. I always warn people when you fire your head coach. Remember, you're not starting at we were 13-3 last season. Let's do better than that. No, you're starting at 0. So can you get back to that point? So for the Eagles, can we get back to a point where Peterson had us? Well, Damon, Sirianni is playoffs, Super Bowl appearance, playoff win. Sirianni is clearly doing things right. It's the results on the field, and it comes down to this season. This season, him and Hurts got on the same page. Hurts did not respect Sirianni and the play calling last season. Something happened that I don't know if it's within the tush push, but something happened that Hurts now respects Sirianni, and they are on the same page. And let's not forget this. You talked about it with the Niners. Offensive and defensive coordinators, you don't just get rid of those guys and replace it immediately. Steichen and Gannon were the offensive defensive coordinators that got this team to the Super Bowl. They each get jobs in Arizona and in Indianapolis, and you replace them. And last season you've got your first year coordinators on both sides. You lost both coordinators. This is going to ripple the building. And then the defense was divided in the Matt Patricia replacement. That Seattle loss where Drew Lock beat the Eagles, that was it. It was over. It was one thing to lose. They had beaten Buffalo in overtime. They got annihilated by the Niners, and then the next weekend destroyed by the Cowboys. It was still, you could still right the ship if you beat Seattle and went on to win the NFC East. But instead,
wheels came off.
Replacing Patricia in a game where the defense gives up a massive play to Drew Lock to finish a loss like that. That was it. So he lost. I think he lost them all there. And this season is impressive. Here's the other thing. Remember this, Damon. No Cox and no Kelsey in that locker room. So this is new leadership from a quarterback that we know is not necessary. This is not Drew Brees before games rallying the guys. Hurts is not that guy. They are finding leadership elsewhere, and Sirianni helps that. And I also think somewhere they love the fiery part of Sirianni yelling at fans in Philadelphia that people love to criticize. I think deep down the team loves.
It actually works. It works in Philly because
it works in that city. It works in that city. It works for that team. They love the emotion. They want to follow that guy into battle. And the winning helps. The winning helps. The roster's great.
The fuck yous in Philly are so plentiful. The only proper way to meet it is with a no, fuck you too. That's how you say good morning in Philadelphia. It really, really is. And by the way, you know who else is helping making things go in Philadelphia? Saquon Barkley. What a year he is having. We knew he was good. I didn't know if we knew he was great. He is putting together one of the finest seasons any running back has ever had in this league by far. And there's absolutely no decision I think to be made next week. You sit him down. I would already, if you're Jeffrey Lurie, you're paying him. All bonuses that would have been triggered with 100 more yards, I'm giving them to you right here, man. You would have done that for us. That's what I would do.
If I'm going to sit here and yell about what the Niners and the Lions are putting on the field Monday Night Football in a game that really doesn't matter much to either team, it's hard for me to say get Barkley out there for the record. The other question is, how do you feel about the record in 17 games versus 16 games? Would you been somebody, if he gets the record on Sunday, are you someone that, I know Siciliano started this with us.
I wouldn't be the asterisk guy. By the way, third quarter is underway. Lions got the ball 1st and 10, and we're playing football, and we're playing generosity here with 650, who's coming in with our biggest super so far of the night.
Wow, damn, you got to drink to that, right?
Fitty spot goes into the ganja jar. Yeah, here's the thing. 50 total supers get a bottle pull, or any 150 spot off the rip gets a bottle pull. This is for 650.
I'll have a sip of coffee for that one.
This is for a better first half than we thought. This is for Sammy. This is for Hanukkah 5.0, baby. Night number 5.
Yes, it is.
For all the little boys and girls who had great Christmases and are about to have great New Year's Eves. Cheers to all of you.
St. Brown limping. St. Brown limping a little bit, by the way.
Don't say we didn't warn you.
Again, it's interesting. I'd like to see Saquon get the record. I think the irony that it would be against the Giants is juicy, and you're going to want to see that.
In New York, by the way?
It's in Philly, unfortunately. He already smashed them in New York earlier this season. But you can't chase it because of all that happens, because of all the criticism that happens if he gets hurt. You just I think you have to. You cannot walk into that. And you're going to, and again, it's an opportunity to rest the line. It's an opportunity to rest Hurts another week. And because you're not in the conversation because the 1 seed's not an option anymore, you don't get the bye. You create your own bye here with this game. I think you have to take advantage of that, don't you? You have to take advantage of the bye that you now will get. You can give yourself a bye. And it's not just Barkley, right? You can't throw Barkley out there with the backup offensive line either. That's not fair. That's not fair to anybody. No. So I think, unfortunately, do I want to see him get the record? Yes. But I feel like there was a concerted effort this past Sunday to get him to 2,000. I think that's probably a conversation they already had. I think that's a conversation they already had, Damon. I think it was, let's make sure 2,000 is still an incredible marker. He's going to get 2,000 in 16 games. 2,000 in 16 games. Let's make sure he does that. It's still a nice knife against the Cowboys. And we'll let the Giants have a rest from the Hard Knocks backlash on we let him go to Philadelphia, and it has crushed everyone in this front office.
By the way, Goff with a freaking dot to Williams. Beautiful throw right over the middle of the field. And we've got the Detroit Lions coming out of the locker room on the march.
Damon, I'd love to ask everyone.
Already over midfield here. Let's see what happens. 1st and 10. Handing the ball off. Jahmyr Gibbs. Don't get hurt, Jahmyr. Don't get hurt.
Gibbs. I just don't
get hurt. By the way, SF Indigo's cracking one open. Love you, Plusers. Indeed. Love you guys too. We have Fuji Simeon. Do the Giants fire Dable after the season? It feels like there's going to be a big house cleaning in New York right now, doesn't it?
What can you hold on to? What are you holding on? Jones is already gone. I mean, what are you holding on to, right? So Daniel Jones gone. You feel like, I mean, the Joe Shane thing just, I don't know how you survive the Hard Knocks offseason and what happened.
I mean, we got it on film. I mean, I see my Twitter timeline every single time Barkley's in the end zone. I see John Mira saying, I'll be heartbroken if he goes to Philadelphia.
And by the way, watch and Damon, watch the next episode when Saquon actually becomes an Eagle. Mara goes into his office and he just says, I think we were a little timid on this one. That's just brutal. I mean, that's brutal. And now to have 2,000 yards staring at you. It feels like Dable's been great. I mean, Dable's
goal. We got 1st and goal. I've got my direct TV was behind. All of a sudden the lines are in business right now. Incomplete. That was to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And by the way, Douglas says Amon-Ra is one heck of a name. What's even more amazing is that the family's surname was just Brown, but his father didn't think that was sexy enough, so he added the Saint. Now, I know more about religion than I practice it. There is no Saint Brown. There is no Saint Brown in the collection of Catholicism.
There is now.
There is now. The best thing, though, is he doesn't even have the best name in his family. Amon-Ra St. Brown has got a heck of a name, but his brother's name is Equiminius St. Brown.
That's a mic drop of a first name.
Equiminius St. Brown. It's just a father who's coming up with some fabulous names.
The Niners are going to get another red zone stop here. Niners, by the way, Niners defense has been brutal in the red zone this season.
Terrible.
It was last up to 2 weeks ago. I believe they were last in red zone defense, which is stunning from the Niners. That's just not what you expect at all. But they got a great stop to end the first half. And
you want to talk about a subtraction of violence when Dre Greenlaw went down. That's where the season kind of started falling apart there too. Here we go. Big play. 3rd and goal. 3rd and goal. You got to figure this is 2 down territory. It won't need to be 2 down territory because that is touchdown territory to Sam Laporta. There you go. And now the Lions will go for 2. 6-yard touchdown reception, and the Lions are trying to tie this one up, going for 2 right here, right now.
The week of tight ends continues.
We got a cooker at Levi Stadium here.
Wow.
Sammy.
This has been, I mean, again, remember the last time these two teams were in this building? I mean, it was Brandon Ayuk caught a ball off a deflection against his helmet. I mean, win the NFC Championship. Yeah. This is, wow.
2-point convert. By the way, the Lions have only gone for 2 once this year and are 0 for 1 on their 2-point conversions. You'd think that
I would not have
aggressive Dan Campbell.
I would have lost that
more
trivia.
Aggressive there, and that is a 2-point conversion converted.
Okay,
Patrick.
1
There you
for
go.
2. So the lines are, I mean, they're playing this like it matters, period. Clearly, right? I thought second half maybe we'd see a lot less, but they are absolutely playing this like it matters.
Dan Campbell warned you.
Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass.
Doesn't matter if you're going to the playoffs or sitting in last place in the NFC West. We're coming out here to fuck shit up. I mean, he did. He said that at the press conference, and I thought, well, that's the kind of thing Dan Campbell is always going to say at the press conference. What is he really going to do when he gets out here and he finds out that this game is utterly meaningless? Win or lose this game, you battle for week 1, or you battle for a bye week and a 1 seed next week. Win or lose. But
I mean, you just didn't need this. I mean, look, I guess you don't want to throw anything down on tape that isn't your best, but this is just an odd decision. I guess, look, it's all out the window. If they win the game next week, if no one gets hurt and they win against Minnesota, none of this matters, right? They got the 1 seed. This game is forgotten. But
this game will have a referendum on it. It'll be like, and that's why this team is now the culture of winning. And Dan Campbell, and you never take your foot off the gas pedal. And when you got a chance to choke a guy, you choke a guy. You know,
but what do you? I mean, it's like
all that tough guy shit.
It just doesn't. I don't know. It still doesn't matter. It just doesn't affect the most important thing this season. But that's fine. I wanted to ask you though. So Niners, outside of this season, Niners are the best team in the NFC of the last 3 seasons. I mean, everyone likes to say if Purdy's healthy in that NFC Championship, they win that. I'll go down that road, even though it hurts me to say it as an Eagles fan. And by the way, Reddick destroyed Purdy on that. I mean, he did not play in that game because he was just hurt before. No, the Eagles defensive line destroyed 2 quarterbacks in that game. But
yeah, Josh Johnson peed right down his own leg too.
Yes, but for what I'm going to ask you, if the Niners have been the best team in the NFC, I feel like no one better to ask. I mean, who's the best team in the NFC this year? Next week's going to tell us that one of them.
I think it's the Vikings and the Eagles.
It's interesting. It is. It's hard for me to say that the Eagles are the best team in the NFC, but to have the number 1 defense and the number 1 rushing offense. The league isn't necessarily about running and defense anymore per se, but those are 2 nice categories to lead in.
I'll almost disagree with you there, man, because I've said this out. Football at any level, from flag football to the Super Bowl, it's about blocking and tackling. Everything else is just, fast guys throwing shit around, and everyone's got them. How good at blocking and tackling are you? That is where the sport is decided, on the line of scrimmage and by linebackers not letting shit get behind them. Then
categorically,
that's
having the best. Yeah, that means that you're telling me that the number 1 offensive line and defensive line in football essentially is, because you're talking overall defense and it's predicated on that defensive line and Jalen Carter. And then you're talking about running the ball, your offensive line. That it's pretty tough to argue against both of those. I'll say wire to wire, the Vikings feel like the best team. And of course, week 18 is going to change this conversation dramatically. But if you're through 17 weeks, and of course the lines we're going to see exactly. But again, even without this tonight, the Lions resume is still spectacular. I think wire to wire, the Vikings. And then again, if this was college football, how could you debate that? Because who's the lot? The Vikings lost head to head with the Lions. I mean, they lost to the Lions. So it's hard to count the Lions out of that as well. It's a very difficult conversation. And to me, the one, I will say this much, and I'll of course, I'll hate this.
All I know is that nobody who loses to Vanderbilt is going to be in this postseason.
You're right. Nobody. You know what? Let's go that as it should be. Packers are an interesting one because the Packers have lost twice to the Vikings, twice the Lions, twice the Vikings, and to the Eagles. So the Packers, it's hard to their resume is impressive, but then when you really dissect who the losses are, it's hard to really see them beyond that. But they could do anything. Last year they had the Niners on the ropes. Packers are the Niners on the ropes in the division.
It's so funny. The 49ers, the 3 games that they played in the postseason, the best game they played is the Super Bowl they lost. And the 2 games that they played to get there were their 2 worst games almost of the year.
Ugly
really
games.
By the way, we break for supers as always, and Justin Rodriguez says, I don't know about all, but I think Sorensen should get the boot in this offseason. And look, I would, Kyle's already selling the topic of consistency. Kyle is already talking about he thinks he's going to grow as a coach. And so Kyle's already setting the table for his return. By the way, the Ricky Pearsall game is happening right in front of our eyes.
I love that it's happening.
Ricky Pearsall. Oh, Ricky, run, Ricky. The Bay Area could use a Ricky after losing poor Ricky Henderson.
Oh, Ricky Henderson. You know what? Yeah, cheers to that, Ricky
Let's
Henderson.
go, Ricky. Yeah,
Ricky.
by the way, you know what? That gets a bottle pull, too, for Ricky fucking Henderson. Fuji Simeon, do the 49ers go to Moody the rest of the game? I would. You know what? Let him kick himself right off this team. I mean, he is their only dressed kicker, so yeah, I'm guessing they will. But again, if you're going to be playing this game, you might as well stay aggressive. And George Kittle is definitely now over 1,000 yards for the season. Let's get that guy out of the game. Hey, diddle, look at George Kittle.
I feel bad for Moody, who was having a great season and really a great early Niners career because of what's happening. He's struggling because he got hurt making a play that we want. We celebrate when kickers make tackles. We think as fans, we love to see it. And yet that's what's really costing him here. He made, it was not a pretty play that he made.
By the way, George Kittle really is truly great Niners since I started covering the team. You can count them on one hand. I mean, true, unquestioned level greatness. Some people put Joe Staley in this conversation. Joe Staley is on the all-time really good team. I don't know if Joe Staley's great. I don't know if he's going to go to the Hall of Fame. He was an important Niner. Patrick Willis, Navarro Bowman, George Kittle, Frank Gore. It's a short list. It's a short list of true greatness, and Kittle has played his way onto it, man. He is everything that is right about the sport of football. Everything you want in a tone setter in the locker room, you get in George Kittle. You really do. Juszczyk's
not on your list, really? I feel like okay.
No, not on the list.
Debo could have been. Debo's trying to get on your list right now.
Look at Debo. Look at this team showing up on a night they could have packed it in. I mean, half of the conversations I was having leading into this game was Niner fans just saying, don't get embarrassed tonight. And I said, look, I would rather no one get hurt tonight. Embarrass them all you want. The embarrassment of this season's already baked into the cake. You're not going to the playoffs. You were a Super Bowl team last year. Like, you can't avoid embarrassment. If you can avoid a bad game, great.
Avoid it.
But if you lose, you're helping next season, which matters more than this season. Yet at the same time, you get into a football game and you want to win it. So go Niners. Let's see if Moody hits this point after. He damn well better. He did.
There you go, Purdy. We all hold our breath.
Just
give me your list again. Give me your list, Niners, since you covered them. Give me the greats. You said it was
Willis, Bowman, Frank Gore.
Yeah. I'm with you.
We got some really good honorable men. Justin Smith, I think makes the team.
Oh yeah.
Justin Smith was badass. Sure. Alden Smith had moments of badassery, but unfortunately that came apart way too fast.
It did.
Vernon Davis was very good for a very long time, but Kittle has removed him from the best tight end that I've covered.
Underrated play, Vernon Davis' career. I was going over this. Someone was asking me about heartbreaking Saints losses in the playoffs the other day, and everyone remembers the walk-off the Minnesota Miracle, and I said, you know what? If you really want to go back and look at an absolute gut-wrench game for the Saints, it also is my favorite Alex Smith game of all time. But Alex Smith versus Drew Brees in an epic battle. This was, I think, 2009, Damon. But the Alex Smith to Vernon Davis with 14 seconds to go, I believe it's sort of the catch number 2 in Niners lore, because obviously you've got the T.O. crying against the Packers game. But that Vernon Davis from Alex Smith is such a gorgeous play in Niners history to beat the Saints. When, by the way, the Saints, Brees had just hit Jimmy Graham to take the lead in that game. This was divisional, I believe.
Right.
And it was such a special game, and what a comeback by the Niners. In fact, was that the year Kyle Williams dropped the punt in the NFC Championship? I think it was that season.
I think it was, yes. Yeah. And look, this was, that was a great game. Jimmy Garoppolo had one of his best games in the Voodoo Dome against the Saints.
Yes.
But I thought you were going to go in another direction. I thought you were going to go to Saints heartbreak. Do you remember the Ahmad Brooks strip sack of Drew Brees that was turned into a roughing the passer?
Oh, man.
That's where that season just was altered. they would have been the 1 seed with that win, but they weren't. They were on the road, and then we all know what happened.
Brutal. I remember that, of course. I remember that. But man, that was that Vernon Davis catch is really, I mean, go back and you're going to put Vernon. I think Vernon with that play could have been one of the greats. One of the, but Kittle on your list, I think is absolutely there. And Debo, I mean, again, for what Debo does, I just think you're right. Consistency wise, I mean, he needs Ayuk out there to really, they just, when they're healthy, Debo is there. He is special, but not when you have to lean on him that much.
There you go. Never forget that Hittner hit.
Yes.
That's right. Dante Whitner, baby.
Yes.
Out there just cracking dudes.
And by the way, what a shame also.
Now Debo can say it's a Moody lock in. Yes, Debo has done something. He can go talk his shit to his kicker now, and Tabor Pepper has to sit there and take it.
Right. Although it was the snapper that he was upset with, right? Is that how that went?
He told Moody to lock in, and Tabor Pepper turns around and drops the old "How dare you!" And then like his hands went on Tabor Pepper's neck, and that can't happen. Anyway, Barry Ford, who the hell is this team? Look at him. Look at the 49ers coming out full of piss and vinegar in week 17 when the year is over. Great.
Yeah, just when you needed it. Like I said, where was this in the snow?
I will say this. I think that this is a game that is going to give whoever beats the Lions in the postseason an awful lot of tape on how to do it. The fact that the Lions cannot get any penetration against the 49ers third team offensive line is why they're not going to go to the Super Bowl. They've just been so injured up front. I think that, I mean, it's going to catch up with them eventually, and it's going to catch up against a really good team in the playoffs.
Yeah, Hutchinson is a Super Bowl caliber player. I mean, he makes that much of a difference, and to not be out there eventually, you would think that would catch up to them. It absolutely could be. I'm so fascinated at what we're seeing here with the Niners and Lions both trying as hard as they are in this game that ultimately
Goff to Laporta, big play down the middle, but we got a flag.
By the way, I was going to ask you this. Fred Warner is having such an unbelievable season. I mean, the amount of things that are happening for the Niners this year that you're going to say, wow, wasted and just sort of forgotten, just wiped. I mean, Warner is just funny every week.
He is the queen on the chessboard. He moves in all directions as well as any linebacker I have ever seen play. He is the one guy who might be better in coverage than he is against the run, and he's still really good against the run. He's played this year on a broken ankle that we didn't find out about until 4 or 5 weeks after he broke it, which means the 49ers should be paying $1 million of NFL fines for not letting that guy hit the injury report. They should at least have to pay my gambling debts, because there's a lot of games where I would have not taken the Niners and those points and laid them had I know this guy were out there playing with a broken ankle. And he did it in like week 4. And he played great. Like, I mean, he was defensive player of the year out of the chute. And then there was a little pullback on that. And it's because he had a broken ankle.
Impressive. Don't
lie to me, Sammy. Don't lie to me on the injury reports. I guess
it's horrible. Well, again, you said Eagles or Vikings, the best team in the NFC. I really, you know what? I think it's a more interesting.
Rams going to crash the party? I don't.
Here's why. I've seen the Ram. I mean, obviously, look, Saquon had the record-setting day against the Rams in LA, so it's tough for me to see the Rams turning that entirely around. And there's just the NFC just feels like there's tears. AFC, I see more upset potential in the AFC because I think the Steelers can still beat anybody in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I don't know that you have that team. I don't know that you have that team on the underbelly of the NFC playoff picture. I don't think the Packers can beat the two teams in their division. They've had 2 cracks at it. They haven't done. I just don't think it's going to happen in the playoffs. I think it gives you an upper hand to get a third try, but I don't see it happening. And I think again, Washington likely would have to go through Philadelphia. And I think the Eagles understand what they have to do against Washington. So I don't think that is much of a surprise. And the NFC South.
God, we got Nick Bosa taking down Jared Goff on 3rd and 3, bringing up a 4th down that takes the Lions out of field goal range. That takes them out of let's run a play on 4th down consideration. And I do believe we are about to see
our first punt
of the evening for either team in this football game. First punt of the night coming up right here. Nick Bosa getting it done.
There you go. Wow.
Oh, no, we are going to have a
okay. Here we go. Field goal attempt. How long is this one?
57-yarder.
Okay.
Yeah, 57-yarder. I mean, Jason Hansen, eat your heart out. Golden toe, wherever you are. That was right down the middle.
57 was clean.
Right down the middle. That was good. That would have been good from 65. Jesus.
Bosa. Nothing to show for it, but nice play. I don't understand how Goff's in this game. I just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense to me at all. It doesn't. I was going to say, I think the NFC is more interesting with Minnesota as the 1 seed. I think that obviously it sets up super wild card weekend. You get to see Detroit and Philly. And I do think Baker Mayfield could beat anybody. I think that could happen. I think once. I don't think Baker can win 3 games in the playoffs, but I could see Baker Mayfield beating anybody. That's just there's something there.
Which NFC team wears the crown of would rather not play him? The Buccaneers or the Rams?
Yeah, right now people are going to say the Rams. The Rams get to rest next week now, which is interesting. I'm so stunned the NFC West has decided in week 17. It was a nice sort of domino that had to happen for all of that. By the way, there was a nice roulette of items that had to happen for Seattle to be wiped off the map, but it did happen on Sunday night with Washington. I think the Rams resting makes that really, the fact that Tampa absolutely, again, it's New Orleans, so we would think they're going to win that game, but Tampa feels like I'm a little more, I guess as an Eagles fan, I've seen Tampa smash the Eagles to end last season, smashed them during this season. Again, that was a game with AJ Brown didn't play either of those games. So that's a different story, but Tampa, I have a scary place in my heart for Tampa that they seem like the team that could beat anybody.
By the way, why we're in a little bit of a holding pattern because the game's in commercial break right now. Just welcome to the Plus. Like and subscribe right now. Please you would please hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. We want to always thank you for the super chats, for watching, for the generosity, for sharing the video, spreading this word of mouth. We really, really appreciate it. That's great advertising. We thank our great sponsors. As always, I am brought to you by Ike's Sandwiches. My man's got some love and sandwiches just waiting for you. Make sure you sign up for that rewards program. You can be entered to win a trip to New Orleans for a very large football game that will be played there in the month of February. Our friends at the Dubliner, Kenny and John, are ready to welcome you to the Dubliner and West Portal. Come on in, tell them we sent you. And as always, make your plays over at BetUS, no matter where you are. This is the offshore account that you need, and use promo code YouTube150 for a 150% sign-up bonus up to $2,000 on that first deposit. Thanks to everyone. Thanks to our good friend Sam Betesh for being here. And in case you want to know where you can find Sam Betesh whenever he is around, I want you to subscribe to Thinking Out Loud. That is his YouTube page that he does with Andrew Siciliano, and you guys are great together.
Thanks so much. Yeah, the pod as well. You can get us at Apple Podcasts, at Spotify as well. Thinking Out Loud with Andrew Siciliano and Sam Betesh. And we are talking about this league every Tuesday and Friday. Sometimes Andrew's complaining about travel during the holidays, etc. Sometimes we're talking about how gross mayonnaise is. But most of the time we're talking about this league and MVP debates all over the place, which I know we're going to have. And also just to try to find out. In fact, Andrew did a great job dissecting how the Rams could win the West this week. And it happened. It was because it was really interesting. It was really interesting.
Do you like dip?
Yeah. Do you like?
Do you like dip? Do you like dips with your chips?
Overall, yes.
Do you like potato salad?
Mayonnaise I will say I'm a little less aggressive about this than Andrew is. If you do something interesting with mayonnaise, I will try it.
Okay.
Andrew is if I can sense mayonnaise anywhere, it's disgusting. Get it away from me. But if you do something interesting with it, I don't like. Here's what I don't. I don't like mayonnaise as an assumed on my sandwich on the bread. Gotta have it. White mayonnaise. I don't need it. Okay.
Oh, so you want a little clearance in the mayonnaise department.
Exactly. Just be upfront with me. If you've got the lettuce tomato is on that sandwich, tell me there's mayonnaise. Also, you're listing ingredients. Mayonnaise needs to be listed. You got to tell me that there's mayonnaise. I have to know that. You can't just assume, it's a sandwich that has mayonnaise.
I appreciate that. If you're just looking for information, I'll give you that information. I'm pro mayonnaise. I love tartar sauce. I like mayonnaise. I like Russian dressing. I like all dips. I like pretty much all, like, You know,
I'm a fan of dips. I'm a fan of dips, and I'm a
yeah.
fan of interesting items with mayonnaise. But overall, if you just white mayonnaise happening, I don't necessarily need it. I don't like seeing a lot of it. There's a drink in Japan with mayonnaise that I just absolutely
Let's
cannot
not get
get
crazy. By the way, Brock Purdy just overthrew Ricky
down.
Pearsall.
Oof. And this is the
And
Pearsall.
after,
Where are we with Pearsall right now? Where are we? Where do we stand on the yardage count? By the way, it's been interesting.
where are we? We're living in a Ricky Pearsall world. He has got 5 catches, which is a new career high for him, 102 yards, which is a career high for him. And the Lions just got the turnover they needed. And I'll tell you, the 49ers have not lost a game when Brock Purdy has not accounted for a turnover. Brock Purdy just accounted for a turnover. He oversailed Ricky Pearsall, and Shanahan is pissed. Oh boy, he's pissed off. Man,
that is not great. Purdy was looking good.
SF Indigo just says, "Look, we talk Mayo. Brock throws a pick.
This is what happens. You see what mayonnaise can do. You see what mayonnaise can do." And we were signing Brock's $55 million check earlier. He did have a perfect night going.
I appreciate the what is it, the Duke's Mayo Bowl, but I don't think there has been a new bowl that has captured America's heart quite like the Pop-Tart Bowl. It's
true. Although I was also surprised the Snoop Dogg Bowl was pretty exciting. I'm glad that happened. I'm glad there was a game named after Snoop Dogg. But I think you're right. The Pop-Tart situation was captivating, and which we said goodbye to the strawberry Pop-Tart. Which Pop-Tart did we say goodbye to? I can't remember. One of them was discontinued.
I don't know who officially got let go. I think what cinnamon was the champion celebration Pop-Tart.
Correct. So
for someone who's so interested in it, I got to tell you, I don't remember much about it.
It's okay. That's all right. So. That's all right. I'm with you on that. But
I got mush
overall.
Mush for brains.
So Brock, that's really the first turnover of the game, right? Other than on downs. Yeah.
The first mistake, and the Lions are going to get the ball now on the 49ers side of business of midfield, and their best starting position of the entire game here against a defense that is bowed up once to force a 57-yard field goal. Still no punts in this game. Zero punts in this game. So I don't think we're going to get one here. So
no, Lions at midfield. This seems unlikely. This seems very unlikely on this drive. Let's see if we can go the whole game without one, which happened in a Super Bowl. So
let's just oversailed this to Pearsall.
Oh, yeah. This was again as Pearsall was building.
He just as if 31 Detroit was the intended receiver. Yeah. Just hit him in the numbers. Joseph,
just boom. Yeah, this was rough. Okay.
Dan Campbell's like, you get a hold of him?
Come on, Dees. Dees nuts.
Sure did.
Oh man. Detroit is playing to win. I don't get it. This game means just so little.
Set a tone.
Yeah, set a tone, but you got to set the tone next week. Set a tone in the NFC Championship game. This is just not that. This isn't that. This isn't. And they set the tone, by the way. I still go back to all those decisions in the NFC Championship game, and Dan Campbell setting his culture, going for 2, going for it on 4th down. And it's just, it didn't work in that game. It didn't.
No.
The totality of the season, it worked, but in that game, it did not.
You got to, there's the thing. You got to know when to be aggressive, and you got to know when to sort of start playing percentage points. And Dan, I love his aggressive nature. I really do. But it absolutely, it did him in. It did in Detroit in the NFC title game. And I guess this will be the postseason where we find out whether or not he's learned from that, right?
That's it. There's going to be a moment. I don't expect them. They blew out plenty of teams this season, but I don't think they're going to blow out 3 teams and win the Super Bowl that way. There's going to be a moment. There's going to be a moment where they're going to have to make the right call. I love what Campbell's done. By the way, Coach of the Year, real quick. It's interesting. I guess if Denver gets in, Peyton's going to get a lot there too. But and frankly, even in the NFC North, actually, I think O'Connell over Campbell. It's a more surprising story, and I know a lot of times it goes to that, and that seems to be the sexier pick there. But to lose JJ McCarthy and have Darnold lead this team to the playoffs, whether they win the division or not, just to the Vikings to the playoffs, to be in the conversation for best team in the league at one point, to be undefeated as long as they were. Minnesota is, I think that's the story.
I think
that's
Kevin
the thing.
O'Connell qualifies, but it's almost he'll be undone by the talent that he put together, right? I mean, the Vikings, the Vikings are good. O'Connell is great. I think there was an expectation of them being good, so no one's that blown away.
Are they? But in that, not really. This was the Lions. This was going to be a Lions Packers conversation this year. There was not supposed to be the Vikings in there. It wasn't.
Right. It's funny. No one thought of Sam Darnold being the guy. I mean,
this was a JJ McCarthy situation. This was not about Darnold at all.
If JJ McCarthy did not get hurt and plays the year, what are the Vikings?
At best, right? I mean, you've already got two. I mean, two rookies made a massive impact. I mean, Nix and Daniels obviously are playing, so JJ could have had the Vikings in the mix in that way, but they're not this. They're not vying for the 1 seed. They're not.
First and goal, the Vikings, the Lions run to the left tackle, bringing up second and goal here. But these are very important downs here in the final minute of the third quarter for the 49ers.
Again, this red zone defense.
Let's see if they do anything to bow up tonight. They have done nothing to slow down the Detroit Lions, but for a Nick Bosa sack, which looked like it might have pulled him out of field goal range. It did not. Second and goal here, 38 seconds, 37, 36 to sync it up where you. That's where I am on my direct TV feed here. Little play action. Jared Goff, lots of time, scanning the end zone, throws incomplete. So we're going to be looking at third and goal. And of course, while I'm trying to do play-by-play, my TV freezes.
Nice. That's helpful. I got you. I'll be behind you.
I'm going to be like Joe Starkey. I'm going to do play-by-play, and I won't say whether or not anyone caught anything.
That's okay. Yeah. Keep them guessing, Damon. Keep them guessing.
Jared Goff throws the ball. That's where I leave it off. And you know what? Jared Goff, Cal quarterback. Joe Starkey did that play-by-play.
He did that. For the 5 interception game against Utah.
Throw to St. Brown. That is incomplete. So fourth and goal.
All right, Dan Campbell, what do we think?
3 points doesn't get you even.
He's going for it, right? I mean, what are you here?
By the way, that was a really nice pressure from Nick Bosa. Yeah, that was a real nice pressure for Nick. They're just throwing after Yadam tonight. Yadam is without a doubt the target, the conflict defender identified by the Lions. All right, fourth and goal. Dan Campbell.
Come on, D's. D's nuts.
Let's see what he's got on fourth and goal.
Oh, Yadam did nothing there other than put his arms out at the end. No, the ball sailed out of bounds.
that was a very easy, untouched touchdown right there. And the Detroit Lions are now whipping the 49ers directly into the camera. Went to the whip hand on that one. Look at this play. St. Brown
how was he forgotten?
Runs a perfect little
How's he forgotten? With him? How's he forgotten? How's St. Brown forgotten there? Forgotten. Unaccounted for. Unaccounted for.
Dude, Renardo Green, let him go.
No, he's unaccounted for.
Dude, there's been communication.
Oh, God, no.
Communication problems all season. So, had Jake Moody not missed a field goal earlier in the game, this game would be tied right now. Instead, it is 31-28, Lions in the lead as we're closing down the third quarter here. Renardo Green was not where he needed to be on that play.
Ouch.
Not where he needed to be. Sammy, what New Year's Eve plans you got going on?
What are you doing? This is you remember one of my best friend, actually my best friend, really, Jason Nathanson, who you know well. He was in San Francisco with us. We're going to his we're basically going to his house and watching movies and doing it very chill this year. It's really going to be, Allie and I are doing it very chill. How about the Bay Area? What do we got? What are you and Jillian picking up?
Jillian and I, it's so funny. Before we had kids, what we started doing on New Year's Eve are Lego projects. Because we just were tired of going out and getting screwed on, prices and too many people waiting in line at a bar. And it wasn't like New Year's Eve. We used to go out when we were young.
You and I have done some, absolutely.
That doesn't happen anymore. So what I'm going to do tomorrow night is we're going to hang out with the kids. We're going to get them in bed at 9:00. We're going to let them watch, the New York version of the ball dropping. And I am going to get the fish show from Madison Square Garden. I'm going to get the live stream. So I'm going to watch the New Year's Eve show from MSG tomorrow night.
Good for you. Good for you. That sounds beautiful. I mean, why does that sound so nice now? I mean, it officially
pop downstairs, smoke my bowls, go upstairs. Happiest dad the kids have ever seen. Why's dad so happy?
You know, just dad's got his happy medicine going. We're okay. We're okay.
Like, dude, dad's got the ganja jar open. He's got a third set at Madison Square Garden ringing in the new year.
Nice.
He's got himself a hell of a Monday Night Football live stream with Sam Betesh under the belt.
It's done. It's done. I mean, that truly puts a cap on the year, which I like. I love that. I love basically ringing in the new year with you right here, which is nice. But it'll be similar to this.
Ringing in the New Year's. Now, what is Levi doing tonight for the fifth night of Hanukkah? What is going on in the Betesh household?
So right now Allie's parents, so he's got, as he calls them, Grammy and Gaga are now running around the house with him, and he will be lighting the candles. In fact, he's probably lighting the candles right now, and he's doing that one without me. I kind of taught him this. I said, okay, look,
shouldn't you be Baruch Atah in this?
I said, Levi, I'm going to teach you Baruch Atah Adonai here so that you can handle it by the fifth night. By the fifth night, you got to be able to take the reins on this and make it happen. That's what we need. That's what we need on this. All right. We need you doing it. And so he's at this point, he's ready and we can make that happen. So that's fine. And he's got his grandparents here. And tomorrow night he's going to be with them as well. I think that's how he's spending New Year's. So he gets to be with them and we don't have to worry about it, which is fantastic. But that's what I mean. At this point, you're getting the kids by 9 o'clock. That's it, right? You're just you're doing the pretend. I think Levi's going to do that with his grandparents tonight. That's what he's doing. He's running around. And by the way, each night, we kind of did a Christmas with Levi. You know, we went to my parents' house last Tuesday night. We woke up, we did the Christmas. So he's got both happening right now. He's doing both, which is, I kind of want to teach him, let him see it all and let him kind of decide maybe which one overall he leans towards. But I still do both. Again, my mom was raised Catholic, so we did both. So I had Hanukkah, I had the 8 nights plus the special Christmas morning, and I want Levi to see it all and to have those traditions in his life as well.
I love it, man. Well, hey, I can't ask you to just keep going unless you really want to avoid the in-laws. In which case,
I'll run out. I'll do the candles right now. I'll run out and do the candles. If you need me, look, text me and I'll hop back in. I mean, this has been unbelievable, Damon. I have loved every bit of this, and I'll only say this much. I really think MVP. I think you put a nice button on that. The fact that maybe Mahomes deserves a little more conversation in the MVP. I'll say this much. I really do think week 18, all of the outcomes come into play here. So I'll say this much. Barkley would have to break the record to get it. I really think that, I think winning the game against the Cowboys the way they did without Hurts gives a little more credence to that. Had they really beaten Washington without Hurts, that would have maybe said, okay, now they did something without. And so Barkley was really valuable in that way. But again, if Barkley breaks the record, if Lamar wins the AFC North, if Burrow gets the Bengals in, if Goff wins the 1 seed. So those are all the ifs. So these are all the dancing factors that I think still play a major factor. And then if none of those are that impressive, it's Allen. And of course, Allen's the favorite in Vegas. So does Allen sitting down? I think week 18 is going to play in. I think if Barkley plays and gets the record, there's going to be a lot more people thinking maybe. But, and we're watching a guy tonight that could get it. Goff could win it. Goff could absolutely win it. But don't forget about Burrow either. Burrow really had, if you look at all the categories for what a quarterback does, Burrow is having a spectacular season.
Everyone go and like and subscribe to Thinking Out Loud with my good friend Sam Betesh and Andrew Siciliano. Do it now. Download it wherever you get your podcasts. Sammy, give everyone in the family a big kiss for me. All right, brother?
Thank you so much, D. We love you. This is special. Enjoy the fourth quarter. I'm here for you anytime. Love the watch party and everything at your channel. Bruce Plus. Excellent. Thank you, D.
Thank you, brother. There he is. Sam Betesh, boys and girls. The one, the only. I've known that guy forever. That guy knows where so many Bay Area radio bodies are buried, and as good of a person as you will find in an industry full of snakes. Seriously, that's my guy right there. I love Sammy. Glad that he could join us tonight. I can let you know that as a final week of the season guest, there is a chance Paul McCaffrey will be joining us next week. We might have to put the out of work broadcaster band together. We've had John Lund join us throughout this week. Not this week, but in previous weeks here. Larry Kruger joined us just last week. So I appreciate everyone coming on by and spending second quarters with us. And in Sammy and Lund's case, much longer within second quarters hanging out with us. It's been an awful lot of fun to hang out with those guys. Damon, that interception was basically a punt. I mean, I think they could have done a better job with a punt than that. That interception set up the go-ahead touchdown. An 18-point fourth quarter is what the Lions, or excuse me, an 18-point third quarter is what the Lions just dropped on the 49ers. 18-7. The Lions won the third quarter. Now here we are in the fourth, 13:38 on a stopped clock as far as I'm watching this game. It has been the finest evening of Ricky Pearsall we have seen. It's been a better than expected night for the 49ers offensive line. Brock Purdy has made one mistake in this game, and it's proven to be a costly mistake, and he just nearly threw another one. I mean, he sailed another one right there. Brock, get that down. Kyle Juszczyk was the intended target coming out of the backfield. So big 3rd and 10 here now for the 49ers. Big 3rd and 10 here for the Niners. And thanks so much to Sam Betesh. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to your super chats. Thanks to your likes. Thanks to the support. We'll go through our sponsors here in just a little bit. My chat summary says viewers are expressing frustration and disappointment in the 49ers. Well, I mean, buy a ticket, take the ride all season long, expressing disappointment in the 49ers. A big defensive stop there by the Detroit Lions. What are you going to do, Kyle? What are you going to do, Kyle? Man, had that ball been in front of Juwan Jennings, he would have had a better time catching it. Juwan Jennings had to come back for that ball while he was in the air. Oh, boy. Here comes Moses Moody with a 58-yard attempt. You want drama? You want drama on Monday Night Football? Moses Moody trying for a career-long field goal on a night where he's already missed one, and he has missed two. He misses another one. 49ers special teams. I mean, Moses Moody is just mentally, he's got to be pudding at this point. How can this young man have a drop of confidence in him? Moses Moody knows his career in a 49ers uniform has got to be over, right? Good God. Oh, my God. Moses freaking Moody. Ralph just saying, I love it. Excuse me, not Moses, Jake Moody. Moses Moody's my kind of guy. Jake Moody's the Moody I got a problem with. Moody Blues, Jake Moody, not Moses. Let's get that right. See, I'm already in Warriors mode. That's how much of the Niners season they actually got left. I'm in Moses Moody mode. Tale of two halves all season long. Tale of two halves all season long. Niners would get off to a good start, red jet, and in the second half would come out and they would just clobber you with unimpressive. And then they get to the fourth quarter and they would really show you what unimpressive was all about. They have gotten worse as games have gone along in almost every single game this year. God damn. By the way, over 300 people in the room right now. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of this. Means an awful lot. Where are we in the like standpoint? All right, we're not at 300 likes, so that means a few of you just lean forward, thumbs up this bad boy, and we'll see what kind of an audience comes in for an aggravating fourth quarter here to our live stream. Again, thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. let me quickly note where we are in this broadcast as I also let you know that our sponsors are just unbelievable. Not only is Wake Up brought to you by Sam's Chatterhouse, and Kruger and I are going to be back at it co-streaming on our channels on Tuesday morning here, day after Niner game. We go live with Wake Up. And man, oh, look, Jake Moody has had enough time to make a super chat. He's over on the sideline looking at his phone. And Jake was nice enough to say, find me bagging groceries next year, $2. Jake, save your money. Okay, you're going to need it. Save your money. Thank you very much, though, Jake. Very generous of you. Good God. Good God, he's a bad kicker. I'm sorry, he's just a bad kicker. Just a bad kicker is all he is. Thanks so much to our sponsors, our friends at BetUS. Go ahead and check out BetUS right now. And when you do check out BetUS, use promo code YouTube150 on your first deposit to have a 150% deposit bonus up to $2,000. Our friends Ike of Ike Sandwiches, that Love Rewards program, you're going to want to sign up for it, and you want to do that right now. You're going to get a free sandwich. You're going to take advantage of this free sandwich first thing in 2025. Get your free sandwich delivered to get it 2025 kicked off the right way when you're sitting on your couch nursing your hangover, watching bowl games on the first. Order yourself some Ikes or get yourself to the Dubliner West Portal. My boys right there. Thank you so much to them as well for sponsoring this show, this channel, and tonight's live stream, our watch party. 2nd and 7 for the Detroit Lions, who are at midfield nursing a 3-point lead. And again, they haven't punted tonight. No one's punted in this game tonight. Unless I missed that. Hold on, let me triple check that before I say it out loud once again. Nobody has punted in this game tonight, correct? I think I'm correct. Of course, right when I'm going into the box score, everything starts moving slowly. Yep, no punts, no punts. No punts. Either team. Laporta just wide open in space. Sits down in front of Hufanga. Easy pitch and catch for Jared Goff to Laporta. And here come the Lions, just hot knife through butter looking at the 49ers. Just hot knifing them. What a phenomenally drawn up play. And I don't even know if that's blown coverage or just design. Lions are good, man. Lions are good. Bosa with the tackle from behind on first down. Short run. Here we go. Here we go. Mike Nichols, tight end, was wide open. Tell me that ain't on the defensive coordinator. I am not impressed with Nick Sorensen. Okay. You know, there's a part of me that wants to say your first year doing it, a little patience, but I'm like the Niners to me they can't be in the patience business, right? They can't be in the patience business. I don't think that there's any situation where we see Steve Wilks have a worse defense had he been retained than what we've seen out of this year's Nick Sorensen, Brandon Staley brainchild defensively. It has been so bad. Pittsburgh High School Pirates baseball, more broken coverages. Theme of the season. Theme of the season. You know, Joshua says it's not a dysfunctional franchise. I mean, you want dysfunctional franchises? We can show you those in the NFL. The 49ers are disappointing more than they are dysfunctional. But, you know, Kyle's made some bad choices. He's made some bad choices this year, and draft picks throughout previous years, missed draft picks through previous years. It's all come home to roost. It's all come home to roost. SF Indigo saying, I'll take back Wilkes right now. Lions have a legit kicker. They do. He's a big boy kicker. I mean, he gets to kick half his games in a dome. Good for him. But he's a big boy kicker, and the Lions have yet to lose a game on the road this year. So he's been clearly doing it on the road, and he just sent that one right down the middle, and it is 34-28 Detroit. Right now, 34-28. Lions in front, 10 and a half left to play. And again, it's just awesome to have you here. Thank you for being here. Let me know where you are. This is one of my favorite parts of the chat and the live stream. Where are you watching tonight from? I know it's a lot in the Bay Area. I know there's a few of you from San Francisco for sure. How far away are we going? How far away are we going? Where are you watching tonight from? Let us know as you hit like and subscribe in that chat. Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Mike, thank you so much. Honolulu is in the house tonight with Bobo. Thank you, Jacob. 49er fan for life from Dallas, Texas. Freddie G, kicking it in his basement. Don in Sacramento, kicking it in Mike Brown's basement tonight, maybe. He's got the night off. We got South Carolina. Matt, welcome from South Carolina. Diego is in Mexico. Diego, thank you for being here. We got Northern Virginia in the house. There is more than one Hawkeye in the house tonight. We got George Kittle. We got Ken, or he could be a Cyclone. I shouldn't just assume. We got North Dakota. We got Panama City, Panama. William, got an expat, I'm guessing. Thank you. Fresno is here. Good to see you. Red Jet kicking it in Pleasant Hill. Thank you, Red Jet. So good to see you. South Dakota is here. Long Island, Strong Island in the house. Frankie, thank you very much. A super comes in. A Jake Moody again. How did the other Jake make that kick? Jake, how do you keep on nailing super chats yet missing kicks tonight? It's working out for me. I can't help but notice that. Kid Icarus in Jersey. Alan from Texas. A guy named Dakota says he's in Chandler, Arizona. I'm so happy Reno's in the house. Love me some Reno, Nevada. Get your Old Bay. Shaking on Adam. Maryland is here tonight. Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Bazzy Mian. I've always wondered where you live, Bazzy Mian. Bazzy is so generous when it comes to giving super chats during Wake Up. Bazzy Mian, thank you very, very much. He is sitting there in Massachusetts. Yuba City. My mammy is in the house. Thank you so much. George, great to see you. Tyler, Texas. Michelle Haberman is in Santa Clara. Michelle is probably in the building tonight. Enki, Iowa. Sean, I haven't even heard of Enki, Iowa. I'm guessing it is a sprawling metropolis. Space Cowboy checking in from Thailand. That's what I'm talking about. That's what blows me away. I mean, I could be doing a radio show. There's never anyone who tuned in from Thailand. So that's special. Nathan in Vegas. Nathaniel Richards, thank you very much. Best to you and the family. Tampa in the house. Corona, California in the house. Virginia. Love it. Seriously, it's amazing. The freaking internet, man. Hey, Gilroy, Garlic City. I'm telling you, the 49ers are closer to Gilroy than they are San Francisco. That's for sure. And now the pressure gets to Purdy. Purdy has been sacked. Sapporo, Japan. Edo JP. Cheers. Again, the power of the freaking internet. I won't even hold it against you, Mike. Kentucky is in the house. Sorry, as a Hoosier, I'm predisposed to not like anything from Kentucky, but I like you, Mike, and I'm glad you're here tonight for sure. Oh, by the way, Ken says, get it right. Go Cyclones. I work for Iowa State University. I was there for Larry Eustacy parties, baby. Let's go, Coach Eustacy. Just kicking it with sorority girls. All right, I just had my DirecTV freeze on me a little bit. On 2nd and 15. What is the outcome of this play? What am I looking at 2nd and 15? I'm going to have to go over here and start looking at the play-by-play. Oh, penalty on San Francisco on 2nd and 15 makes it 2nd and 20. Oh, yeah, it's a fourth quarter. This is where we all fall apart. Did I see another quarterback warming up on the sideline? Is that what I was looking at? It is time to get Brock out of this game if this drive doesn't go anywhere. Absolutely time. Oh, good. Westeros is in the house. Good to see Heron Hall in here tonight. King's Landing here tonight. Thornton, Colorado. Missouri is in the house. Niagara Falls. I mean, you're getting up in upstate New York territory there. Grew up in Schenectady, so down with Niagara Falls. He's on the Canadian side, though. Another catch by Ricky Pearsall. It's been the Ricky Pearsall game on 3rd and 5. 49ers get a first down right there. Ricky Pearsall. This is what I'm talking about. Clickbait. On the roof, smoking a fat blunt, sipping bourbon. I mean, why are we friends? The San Quentin Prison Inca House. Larry, all I can tell you is that from my days of Sports Phone and KNBR, I've always gotten nothing but love from guys inside San Quentin, and the prison system has been great to me. It really has. So be nice, and I'm really glad you're here, man. Happy New Year, the best that it can be to you. Korea checking in. Unbelievable. San Quentin. Larry, thank you for being here. Yeah, Maya's like, it must be really nice having a kicker. It's got to be great. It's got to be great. Hey, thanks to everyone for letting us know where you are. I could keep doing that all night long, but if I keep on doing that, we won't be able to pay attention to this game. Tim, careful about getting that prison love. Oh no, I get real love in prison. Not threatening love, real love. I think there's a little respect there. I think, game recognizes game. Marissa, thank you very much. Marissa coming in with $2. Is this Marissa hanging out with my lovely wife tonight? Oh, my God. It is. So Jillian went out tonight, and I said, where are you going? I said, I'm going to go hang out with my friends. I said, that's great. I said, which one of your friends you hanging out with? She's like, I'm going out with Alana and Marissa. Marissa, of course, famous for UCLA attributes. Like so many lovely ladies down at UCLA. And look at this. Jillian Bruce. Look, when your wife says take a drink, you take a drink. Jillian demands a bottle pull of her husband. Honey, I've let you down in so many ways. I don't want this to be yet another. So here we go. There you go. We got prisoners. We got wives. We got hot chicks from UCLA. We got Guam in the house. We got San Quentin in the house. We got Tokyo in the house. Unbelievable. Power of the internet. Oh, Brock Purdy with another interception. Joseph does it again. Oh, Brock. Here's the good news. You're going to lose. You didn't want to, Niner fan said, don't embarrass us in this game. Just don't embarrass us. This isn't embarrassing. The 49ers represented themselves pretty well. Now get Brock Purdy out of this football game. Get George Kittle out of this football game. Get Nick Bosa out of this football game. Get Fred Warner out of this football game. And I don't want to see anybody next week against Arizona now. Come on. Just don't want to see it. Ricky about to tell Tayshaun Samuel to lock in. Thank you very much. Lock in indeed. Go Niners. Fuck y'all haters. Here, no one here is hating. A loss is better than a win for the 49ers. There's no more regular season proving ground for the 49ers. There just isn't. Get out of this game healthy. I'm going to take my headphones off. I don't need those anymore. I could have taken those off when Sammy left. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my God. Look, everyone playing pretty well. Niners not being embarrassed. That's what happened. And you lose, and you improve your draft position. I'll take it. No, obviously, look, you get into a football game, you're playing well, you want to win it. But this has been you can say that Brock has thrown 2 bad interceptions tonight, and you'd be right. This is a defensive slog of the first degree. Again, Brock, is he perfect? No. But the imperfections that are never discussed defensively, yet are just circled. Anytime Brock makes a mistake, it's all anybody can talk about. And it's almost forgotten what this defense has allowed. And what this defense has allowed tonight. And again, I'm not making Brock Purdy excuses. That was a bad interception. Full stop, period, end of story. What is also really bad is that right now, the Detroit Lions are winning the second half 21-7. The Detroit Lions have run 60 plays for 379 yards, and believe it or not, the 49ers have 403 yards on fewer plays. The 49ers have only run 49 plays and have 403 yards, but a couple of poorly timed interceptions. And Purdy, again, you want to say Purdy, he's the problem? Behind a makeshift offensive line, Brock Purdy's thrown for 340 yards in this one. I mean, he's over 300 yards again this week. But the interceptions are bad. Why don't they run? I don't know. I mean, why is this team right now looking at a 31 pass, 17 carry pass run distribution? And considering 3 of the runs were Brock Purdy scrambling for 12 yards and a touchdown, Garendo's only touched the ball 9 times out of the backfield. Debo, 3 carries for 16 yards. Ricky Pearsall, 2 carries for 6 yards. I guess we don't see Patrick Taylor or Abinaconda, and just we'll never know whether Abinaconda can play. Jared says, has your opinion changed on Brock Purdy? No, my opinion is Brock is pretty damn good. I think Brock is pretty damn good, and there's no one that is even like in line to be this good. So I think Brock remains. Is he perfect? No. But I think he has more attributes than he has demerits about him. I really do. I'm still in the Brock Purdy camp. The question is, what does the 4 touchdowns and the 2 interception cost you? Well, it's 3 touchdowns. By the way, it would be great if they could bring Brock in the neighborhood of 50-ish instead of 60-ish. But I'll tell you this, the cap's going to go up, and Brock is not going to sit and occupy that much cap space to where business around him can't be done early years here. And then if the cost of Brock gets prohibitive, that's when you restructure Brock. The only way that paying Purdy right now can really hurt the 49ers is if right after you paid him, he got hurt. As long as Purdy continues to produce his level of production, when this team's running game gets right and its defense gets right, you're a playoff team again. Jerry, it's happening. Can't sign Brock for more than $30 million per year. He will make almost double that. The market dictates this, not our feelings, not even his production. The timing of hitting the market at this point in his career with the resume he has assumed early on in his career means he's getting paid. And if you don't want to live in a world where Brock Purdy makes an awful lot of money and continue to root for this team, you're going to have to get a new team. Brock's not going anywhere. Just not coming. Like, the whole team has turned into a pumpkin this year. The whole team. We got Drew saying, I need one catch for Jameson Williams or Debo to win a fantasy football championship and the Lions to cover the 3.5. Lock it in. I hope you get it done, Drew. I really, really do. Thank you very, very much. I'm fine with the 11th pick and draft over. So now this is my wife. I can tell she's having a good time because she said UCLA tits would like some more airtime. All right, I'll say it. So Melissa has a great rack. And there was a point in the time where it was very early. I was just starting to miss. I remembered she went to UCLA. I remembered she had a great rack. And I couldn't remember her name at this time. So I was just talking to Jillian about a group of friends. I was like, what's the one who was her name? Like, I can't, UCLA tits. And UCLA tits became the nickname. When she was told about this, she took a great sense of pride in it because she loves her alma mater. And I'm sure she stares at those puppies when she gets out of the shower right in the mirror. Why wouldn't you? Those are great. I actually have permission to look at them from my wife. If anyone ever wants to show them to me, I can see them. Jahmyr Gibbs, 30-yard rushing touchdown. It's a 40 burger right now. The Lions, while I'm talking about all great things like sweater puppies, Jahmyr Gibbs just put that puppy into the end zone. And it's a whole lot of Lions now. And the game that you thought might not be, embarrassing, just got a little embarrassing right there, didn't it? Just got a little bit embarrassing. But here's the good news. Now there's no reason to not get Brock off the field. Get him off the field. Get him out of this game. Sucks to lose these meaningless games, but that's where we are. You play meaningless games in December, and you put our star players in unnecessary danger. Look, man, the time for all that this game matters, we got to win this game talk, that was in week 2 and week 3, and they didn't get the job done in week 2 and week 3. Man, Jahmyr Gibbs just took off like a rocket, untouched until, the 1-yard line right there. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Two awful picks. Two awful picks by Brock, no doubt. Switching the TV to the Dubs, but I'm staying here. That's right. We got the Warriors playing tonight. I haven't even checked in on that game because I've been watching this one. But man, that was bad. JJ Raider just laughing. Just laughing. Bad defense all night. Bad defense. Kirk Cousins going to be a 49ers next. Have you watched Kirk Cousins play? No. Not the answer. No chance. No chance. Game over. That's fine. That's fine. You wanted to lose tonight. You really did. You wanted to lose this game tonight. Uh-oh. Lindy Waters is so trash right now. That's not a good sign for what's ever happening. over with the Warriors. By the way, we want to say goodnight to Barry Ford. He's in Memphis. He's saying, I'm out. Go Ricky Pearsall. How about one last bottle pull? You know what, Barry? Not only am I going to give a bottle pull, I'm going to let Barry be our official spokesmodel of the night. Here it is. Barry has served our country in the Navy. He has served radio. He has been a broadcaster. Now you can just tell he's a righteous dude because that's the hairstyle and the hairdo of a righteous man. We got a big old fat 49er chain, and look in his hand, everyone. That is a Plus mug that he was nice enough to purchase from our merch store. Barry, cheers. You wanted a bottle pull, Barry? You get one, brother. Why not? My New Year's Eve has started. My New Year's Eve has started. Nearly 400 people in the room. People are getting angry. Don't get angry. Look at Barry. Don't get angry. Be that guy. Be that happy guy right there. There's no reason to get angry. 49ers came out, played a halfway decent game in circumstances that were built to be disastrous. And you're going to have a better draft pick today, and nobody has gotten hurt so far. Nobody better get hurt at any point in time now. What do we got here? So what? Was there just a turnover? Did Bethune? What happened? I was saying thanks to everyone. I was looking at Barry. All right, Niners got the ball. Why is Purdy still in this game? I don't understand. There you go. Congratulations. Why is George Kittle still in this game? What is going on? What is going on? Why would you still have this guy in this game? Now you're gonna play with a pace and tempo to you that really says we're here to play tonight? Come on. What are you doing, Kyle? Asset risk management. What is going on? Oh, G. Martinez. Hey, you play to win the game. 17 checks. Oh, Space Cowboy, you're so right. Kyle's going to be talking about his 17 paychecks. Yeah, Kittle, Shanahan mismanagement of Plains Health is a tragedy. Well, I mean, there's examples of that. Purdy uncorks a long one there on first and 10. I mean, why is anybody who matters still in this game? You are not winning this game tonight. And oh, by the way, you don't even really want to win this game tonight. I don't want to hear a word about, well, you got to do it for the culture. No, the 49ers culture did nothing to come for to save their season this year. Not interested in any cultural lessons being learned by this football team. The season has been a bad date. Can't end fast enough. Like, let's just get out of the restaurant. Let's go our separate ways. I'll even order you your Uber home, honey, but we got to end this right here. It's time to end this date. So just get out of this season. I'm serious. Nobody better play next week in Arizona. Nobody better play next week in Arizona. I would like to thank my in-laws, Tom and Liz, who are upstairs watching the boys while Jillian is hanging out with Lana and UCLA Tits, having a great time. Thanks so much to my in-laws for making we're not going to do much in postgame tonight. We're going to get out of here quick because we've been on the air now for nearly 3 hours. And I know that angry fans come in at the end of the night. This has been a good good safe space for angry fans all season long. So thank you for being here. Go ahead and hit like and subscribe, if you will. Almost 400 people in the room. We're not even at 350 likes yet, which means some of you are not living up to your end of the bargain. We got, let's see where we are on our clock right here. Got to thank always our sponsors in the show, beginning of the show, middle of the show, at all times. We thank my man Ike for getting it all done for me. Incredible sandwiches. Get yourself to Ike's. And if there isn't an Ike's near you, it's time for you to move. The Dubliner in West Portal, one of the best bars in all of San Francisco. Muni drops you right off out front. Our friends at the Dubliner are ready to pour you the best Guinness in the entire city. And you're going to bring your winnings to the Dubliner. And you're going to tip generously because you use that promo code YouTube150. You got a 150% deposit bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. And thanks to all of our sponsors. Thanks to all of you for being here. And again, please hit like and subscribe. That is the best way to make sure that you are going to stay in tune as we start transitioning from regular season into off season, as we start transitioning into our draft coverage, into free agency. Kruger and I are going to continue wake ups in the off season as well. That is a morning show that comes to you on both of our channels on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But tomorrow, Larry and I will be waking up on a Tuesday to recap this Niner game. Oh my God, Brock Purdy just got blindside crushed. Get him out of this game. 90 seconds left. Brock Purdy taking blindside damage. What are you doing, Kyle? 49ers, John Lynch. What are you doing? I mean, you got Dan Campbell sending cornerback blitzes. Dan Campbell just ran a fuck you blitz, and it got home. Get Brock Purdy out of this game. What if Brock Purdy just tore his ACL right there? Come on. What if Brock Purdy just tore his ACL right there? Oh, now he's out of the game. No, nah. What, did everyone just get a little scared? Everyone just got a little religion? It's amazing how, those without religion find Jesus when their quarterback is getting cornerback blitzed. So here comes Josh Dobbs, a full nearly 60 minutes too late. Again, Josh Dobbs shouldn't even be playing right now. Show me Tanner Mordecai. Who is Tanner Mordecai? I know who Josh Dobbs is. He's not on the team next year. Get him. What are you doing? Juwan Jennings gets an awful lot back on 2nd and 17. Oh, what was Brock Purdy out there just trying to loosen up? What, I mean, come on. Don't go back. He's shaking his head. He's hurt. I think Brock is hurt. Purdy, 27 of 35, 377 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, one almost worse than the other, and a rushing touchdown. Brock Purdy, 2 bad interceptions, but he came to play tonight. Look at him. He got drilled on that. Absolutely drilled. Brought down. Is that a little shoulder, a little elbow? Where is that? How does that injury manifest itself tomorrow on the injury report? What the fuck is he doing in the game? Unbelievable. It's a level of negligence. It really is. Wayne, my man Wayne at SFO. It's where I just dropped the Duchess off this morning. She had to go out of SFO. Wayne, thank you so much. Happy New Year's to you and your family as well, Wayne. I appreciate you so much. You've been listening and supporting me for a very, very long time. Oh, you can see Purdy right in his face. He did get hurt on that play. Looks like Brock Purdy's hurt. Nice job, everybody. Got Brock Purdy hurt in the last 90 seconds of a meaningless football game. You douchebags. Everyone will place next week. Kyle's got a Sermon injured 2 years in a row. Running him up into the 30. Kyle's a stubborn SOB. Jason, you are right. I mean, it's like Kyle. He just overuses guys. Debo, not Sermon. Jason, I get what you mean. Yes, Debo. Hey, Trey Lance, you got him hurt too, right? John Brennick, as always, great coverage. Thank you, Damon. Well, thank you, John, and thank you for that super. Means an awful lot. Really does. Diego Sanchez, Kyle and his ego already screwing over next year. They keep cutting back to Purdy, and Purdy looks more and more worried every single time the camera catches his eyes. On 3rd and 2, Josh Dobbs with a big throw. Come on. Look, I'm still on. I still like Brock Purdy. I didn't like those interceptions. I still think he's the 49ers' best option at the position until they find the next guy. But I don't think you let go of Brock Purdy until that next guy is on your roster, which means you're going to have to do a little business with him right here. Make that upfront guaranteed money where it needs to be. It won't affect the cap that much. I don't think we really need to worry about, a team around Brock being so bad and incompetent that that they're not going to be able to pay talented guys anymore around him. There's talented football teams around highly paid quarterbacks all over this league. It'll work out. It always does. Brock Purdy looks worried. Brock Purdy has a look on his face like something's wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm interpreting that the wrong way. Hey, Josh Dobbs, touchdown. I'm behind you. My computer's my TV's been freezing for the last 5 minutes here on this drive, so I'm sorry. I'm behind you, everyone. All right. We'll see if Jake Moody actually hits this point after touchdown or not. It's always an adventure. He missed it. Oh, my God. Jake Moody, dude, just get Jake Moody off the field. Jake Moody cannot kick a field goal. He can't kick a point after touchdown. Kyle Shanahan's like, are you kidding me? No, Kyle, we've been telling you, get rid of this guy for a while now, but you keep on bringing him back. Jake Moody, dude, Jake Moody cannot be in Arizona next week. That's how bad that is. Lock in. It's sad we're watching this young man's career end. He knows he's done. Jake Moody knows he's done. I think Brock Purdy might know he's hurt. So now you got an onside kick. That is a 3rd-round kicker. Oh, my God, Jake Moody. Oh, my God, Jake Moody. Fire the kicker now. Oh, my God. The Lads Band Live, thank you for the super. Kyle's the most genius head coach to never win a Super Bowl. Draft some fucking pass protection. Yeah, and by the way, Jake Moody, with as bad of an onside kick as you will ever see, he basically just kicked that straight out of bounds. Jake Moody needs to be relieved of any and all duties this evening. Terrible. Oh, by the way, Jake Moody, disagree. Me and Sorensen, we're awesome. Oh, hey, bring back Snyder too. Must have picked him up after drinking a third round. There it is. There it is. Drinking in the third round is what got Jake Moody on this team. Victory formation for the Detroit Lions. And there you go. Man, you know, if the whole point of this evening is you just didn't want to be embarrassed, you almost got there. You almost got there. But with, let's see, with 20, the 49ers got outscored 27-13 in the third half, or excuse me, in the second half. Third quarter, they got outscored 18-7, outscored 9-6 in the fourth quarter. Detroit was better down the stretch than the 49ers were, and that's been the 49ers' problem all year long. As the game goes along, their offense and defense both retreat. Both retreat. I miss Robbie Gould. I'll admit, I took him for granted. Terrence Sullivan says, don't be surprised if Moody beat the 49ers in the future. You know what? We'll worry about that when that day comes. And I really wouldn't worry about that a second before that day actually happened. Moody's the reason we won't be losing our draft position. Hey, give him a raise. Give him an extension right now. Nice job, Moody. Here's to a better 2025. Well, MKG, I certainly agree with that. And by the way, we are rapidly approaching. Because, you know, it's funny, this bonus super chat thing that's going on here, it says that we are at 38 of 50, and the timer ended before reaching a goal. But the rest of you have come in over the top. And so we are now not only here's what I have to say to everyone in this game, in this season. Thank God it's over. Don't play anybody in Arizona that matters. Let's finish the year. Let's finish this bottle. This bottle was given to me by Irwin at Plus Mania. Was that Plus Mania 5 that we had? Cheers. Ha! Yeah. Whew. Everything you need to know about this Niners game is right there. When we started, the liquor was here. Now it's here. New Year's Eve is tomorrow night. Start celebrating right now. The Niners did not damage their draft position. As a matter of fact, they improved it. But let's find out what's wrong with Brock Purdy, who looked like he might have been hurt because he was still in a game that was unwinnable. That didn't matter even if you wanted it or not, but he was in an unwinnable game late in the game and got cornerback blitzed and blindside crushed. Seriously? Come on. Again, I'm not worried about Moody beating the 49ers. Moody's going to go home and he's going to beat himself because he knows that he is. I hope he was renting and didn't buy in the Bay Area. Jason says, Moody's the reason we're not losing our draft position. We got to that one. Thank you. A better 2025. Indeed. Moody equals Kofor. Thank you. Puck guy. Thank you for the super. Fuji Simeon. Dubliner sounds real good right now. It sure does. Happy New Year. See you next week. Yes, we will be back for that Arizona game. I promise you. Bazzy Mian, season from hell. Time to flush it all down the toilet and go for it in 2025. Indeed, Bazzy. It's time to get out of this season. It's time to go. This has been a terrible date. It's time to end this date. We're leaving the restaurant. We'll never call each other again. We'll never look back on the 2025 season. Nothing was learned. Nothing was earned. Nothing was gained. This whole thing has been a slog. We will see you next week. Time to hit the ha-ha jar. Joe Ash, you are right about that. Now we have to listen to Larry's crazy draft takes. Oh, there'll be some crazy ones. There'll be some ones with merit. And then no matter who the Niners draft, he'll be very excited about those players. Probably. I love Larry. Larry gets very excited. That's why I'm here. I'm the voice of reason. Moody shouldn't be back. I don't think Moody will be back. I don't think Moody's going to be back, and I do too. I love Larry. Larry's my friend. Larry's someone who I think is great at what he does. He's such a hard worker, and I'll tell you right now, he's done so much to help me get a leg up here on YouTube that I'm going to ask you, with our largest audience of the night, over 700 people in the room right now, one of our biggest audiences for any shows that we've done here. If you could all lean forward, hit like and subscribe right now, it would go an awful long way to building this channel. And I thank you so much. Again, membership's available. Merch is available. But it is free to everyone to hit like and subscribe. So thank you so much for doing that. You can make my year by getting me. I want 30,000 subscribers. We're not going to get there before the end of the year. We're not going to get 3,000 subscribers tonight, but we are over 27,000 officially. Thank you. We just went over 27,000 about 24 hours ago, and I thank all of you for supporting this channel. It means so, so much. You support the Niners, and I cover the Niners, and I do it in a way that sometimes, gives you some scoops of medicine you'd rather not have go down. The Niners have been a headache. A freaking headache all year long. Legitimate. And this headache just now needs to come to an end. There's no amount of aspirin that's going to make it go away. Joe Schmo, you've reached the mezcal portion of the year. Yeah, eat the worm. That's where you are. You're in the eat the worm portion of this 49ers season. 0 punts should be the end of Sorensen and Staley. Could not get off the field. 0 punts out of the 49ers defense. You're right. It was, again, the Lions put up an easy breezy 40. An easy 40. Again, Purdy, Skywalker's birth certificate says Purdy was awful. Your awful quarterback threw 2 bad picks tonight. I'll give you that. Those were not good picks. He overthrew, oversailed, and that is a problem with Purdy. Sometimes those balls float. 377 yards and 4 touchdowns. In a year that has gone up in smoke, in a game against a team that could be a 1 seed, he threw for 377 yards in a game where there was no commitment to any running game at all, where you're asking Ricky Pearsall to be your leading receiver throughout most of the game, and he was. Ricky Pearsall, 8 catches, 141 yards. George Kittle, 8 catches, 112 yards. Let me show you. Let me share the screen with you. I want to know, how is Brock Purdy right now? Is he hurt? I want to know what Brock's injury situation is. Again, Brock, 2 interceptions, 2 bad interceptions. Let's not pretend they weren't bad interceptions. He passed more than Goff did, completed more passes than Goff did, had a better average than Goff did. Again, I'm all done defending Purdy. Clearly there are 2 camps. People who think he's pretty damn good, and people who think that no matter what he does, he's just the worst quarterback in football. You look at it this way. If you don't like Brock Purdy, you really need to start rooting for another football team, because he's not going anywhere, kids. He's just not. He's not going anywhere. So if that guy drives you nuts, prepare to be driven nuts. It's going to happen time after time after time again. Again, this is what's nuts. B. Lauren, he cost us the game. Your defense didn't force a punt. Your defense didn't get off the field once. And your quarterback, who scored 4 touchdowns and threw for 377 yards, is who cost you the game. B. Lauren, I love you. You don't know shit about football. The guy who threw for 377 yards, played his dick off with no running game behind a patchwork offensive line. The 2 picks were bad. The defense didn't get off the field tonight. The defense never got to a red light. They were green and amber all night long. They didn't put a red light on the Detroit Lions once. But Brock lost this game tonight. Brock Purdy lost this game tonight. In a game your defense didn't force a punt. This is Brock Purdy's fault? He made 2 mistakes. If Brock Purdy made 2 mistakes, how many mistakes did the defense make? How many tackles did they miss? The defense gave up 40. The 49ers offense scored 34. The defense gave up 40, but it's fuck Brock Purdy time for some of you? Okay. Okay. Great. I mean, whatever you got to do to sleep well at night. Whatever you got to do to sleep well at night. Your kicker missed 2 field goals and a point after touchdown. Your kicker left 7 points on the board, and your defense didn't force a single punt. But fuck Brock Purdy, who threw for 377 yards. Is 377 a season high? Did Brock Purdy throw for his season high in yards with 4 touchdowns scored on a night where you're motherfucking the guy? Okay. Whatever, man. I don't know. What are we doing here? It's a career high. Oh, excuse me. A career high, not just a season high. Leopoldo Reza, thank you for the 10 spot. I really appreciate it, brother. Happy New Year to you. Screw Purdy. I'm not the problem. From Jake Moody. Yeah, Kyle called a pretty good game today. Michael Klein, I'll agree with you. Kyle ran so the 49ers, again, on the night where it's got to be fuck Brock Purdy, the Niners had more first down than the Lions, more passing first down than the Lions, more yards than the Lions, and fewer plays than the Lions. Had 400 yards of passing tonight. Were 30 of 40 in the passing game. Again, Josh Dobbs was a part of that. Average yards per pass tonight was 9.5 yards. The Lions had 152 rushing yards. 152 rushing yards. Brock Purdy, 4 touchdowns, but fuck him. Okay. Kyle, can we please see a quarterback that should have played tonight? Tanner Mordecai. Purdy should have been on the bench. Been saying it all day. Robert, I've been saying it all day too. I've been saying it all day long. Why was he even in this game? Let's see if Tanner Mordecai can't be a backup next year. Find out what you got in Tanner Mordecai, because right now the official answer to the question, what do you got in Tanner Mordecai? The answer is, don't know. Have absolutely no idea what Tanner Mordecai is. Find out. The property manager at Capitola, which is close to postman at Capitola, not quite, but that's what postman gets. We'll give that to you. Brock Purdy had himself a Dak Prescott stats game. Dak Prescott makes $60 million a year. Do you see where this is going? Come on. What? Again, I got a 5-year-old. The 5-year-old knows the alphabet. There's no reason for me to continue to ask him, do you know the alphabet? I know he knows the alphabet. I know some of you understand how economics and football and supply and demand work, but you want to pretend that none of that is in play with Brock Purdy. Again, Brock Purdy ain't perfect. You find me the guy on this team who fits the definition of perfect. Who is he? Who's the perfect football player on this team? I'd love to know. You never want to be compared to Dak. Here's the scary little thing that no one wants to admit. Dak Prescott's actually pretty damn good. Dak Prescott was in an MVP conversation last year. Dak Prescott is not the best quarterback in football. He is closer to being the best quarterback in football than he is the worst. And that's what Brock is too. Brock is closer to the conversation of who's really good at this than he is at the who's really bad at this conversation. And you got folks saying that he so deserves to live in the who's really bad at this neighborhood that I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. As I was saying, my in-laws, who've just been awesome all holiday season long to my family and to my boys, are upstairs watching the boys right now while Jillian's out having some fun. So I'm going to have to go and make sure that I need to go tap them out. They've been so wonderful watching the kids for the last 4 hours. Competitive offense when they feature Debo, when they don't feature Debo. Pedro, yeah, like less is more in that Debo department. I'll give you that. I really will. Less is more in the Debo department. He's a gadget guy. He's a highly paid gadget guy. Again, Purdy throws for a career high, scores 4 touchdowns. The 49ers score 34 points. The defense doesn't force a punt all night long and gives up 40. But fuck Brock Purdy. Okay. I guess this is where we go our separate ways as sports fans, I guess, right? Okay. All I can tell you is that I really do love hanging out with you. Whether we argue or not, whether we agree or not, thank you for being here for another watch party. It means an awful lot that you showed up and you spent some of your time here with us tonight. It means an awful lot. I want to thank once again my man Ike. Again, I got the cardboard cutout. I don't even need to put up the graphic. This is Ike right here. This guy. Phenomenal guy, incredible sandwich. He opened up a business that has turned into over 100 locations. There's one now in New Orleans, and all of us were supposed to be there for the Super Bowl this year. The Niners aren't going to be there, but you could be. Sign up for that Ike Love Rewards program, and you could win a trip to New Orleans in just a few weeks from now from a very, very big game. Thanks to our friends at BetUS. Use promo code YouTube150 when you sign up to save on that deposit bonus up to $2,000 on your first deposit. You get 150% sign-up bonus. And our friends at the Dubliner, if there's one thing I absolutely know is that everybody who just watched what I just watched could probably use a drink right now. The drink that I needed was drank. This is an empty bottle, which means this is an empty season, which means this broadcast is over. And I want to say thank you once again for all the supers, for all the support, for all the likes, for all the subscribe. If you've done nothing else, would you please subscribe? Just hit that subscribe button. Let's get that bad boy number up right there. That would be a Christmas present to me. You don't have to buy my merch. You don't have to spend $1 on a membership. If you'd hit that subscribe button, it would make my end of the year holidays sing. Thank you so very, very much. Kyle, way too pass happy on first down. I agree with you, 49ers fan. We'll be back at it with my friend Larry Krueger, 9 a.m. Tuesday. It's Wake Up with yours truly and Larry streaming on both of our channels. We will have an awful lot to talk about. Thank you. Thank you, Zothmus. Love the live streams. 100% thank you. No, thank you. Thank you very, very much. I really, really appreciate it for being here, for being a part of it. I would never buy merch for complacency. I'm complacent? What did I do? I'm working my dick off over here. Thank you so very much. Happy New Year to you, Kim. Joe, one of the biggest supporters and one of the biggest ganja jar stuffers I've ever met. Thank you, Joe. Peace out, Tuna Balm. Peace out to you. By the way, Tuna Balm, I hope that an awesome avatar name is subscribed to me with a name like Tuna Balm. We need more Tuna Balm. Draft alignment, great advice on the way out the door from Crypto King. See you tomorrow. KK Campo too. I hope so. Again, you could have been a lot of places tonight. You chose to come and hang out with me. I hope I made it worth your time. Thanks to our good friend Sam Betesh for stopping on by and not just hanging out for the second quarter, but for hanging out for a very, very long time. And I leave you with this. As we hope there's no real damage to Brock Purdy here in any way, shape, or form, I leave you with this. Your draft position got better. Your draft position got better tonight. You got a better draft pick, and I hope from the bottom of my heart, no one who matters plays next week. What are we doing? Q Jacinto, another banger. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate that. I hope you have a banger of a New Year's Eve. I hope all of you have a great time. Stay safe. Make good choices, my friends, on New Year's Eve. Make good choices. Thank you. Desmond O'Connor. I know that name. We're all here watching you. To the O'Connors. Muscles. I mean, incredible dinner last night. Mwah. Thank you. Thank you so much to all O'Connors that I know that all of you are watching. I would have sworn less in this show. I would have done better. I really, really would have. Thanks to all of you. Thanks for being here. And please do remember that sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's gone.